Welcome back to another episode of Hashing It Out with Javi. This is number 19, and I'm super duper excited about this one. I got some good friends of mine I've known for, well over 20, probably 5 plus years, maybe. I don't know. Long time. I got my boy Robert Gutierrez, who's been here before. He's been on the podcast. What's up, Robert?
What's up?
I got his little brother, Alex, who was my good homie growing up. What's up, Alex?
Not quite so little, but
we got a bunch of carne on the mic, and I got the homie Mario Reynoso. We also know him as Tank, or the
What's
big
going
tank.
on?
What's up, Tank?
What's going on, man?
Oh, just same old stuff, man. Just excited to be here with you guys. I think people don't know because we don't have video right now. We're working on the video piece, but I got a lot of carne in this room. There's a lot of big dudes up in here.
There's over 1,000 pounds in here.
Easily.
Of carne.
And that's not including me. Oh, we forgot someone who's here also that is awesome, right? We got Robert's son, Maximo, here. Say what's up, Max.
Hi.
He's another big ass dude.
Yeah, 13 years old, 6 foot, 220.
Wait, you're only 13, bro?
Yeah.
You're lying.
7th grader.
I've been talking like he's like 20. I'm so sorry. Meanwhile, I thought you were like way
No,
older
it's all
than
right. He's all right.
My apologies, man.
You can punch him in the stomach too if you want.
No, he's really 13?
Yeah, he's 13.
Holy crap, man. We got to take a picture of this kid and just so people know how big he is. I seriously thought you were like my son's age. And my son's going to be 18. No way.
Yeah.
he's a big dog.
I'm sorry, Milo. My bad. No, I feel bad, Robert. My
I don't
apologies.
feel bad.
Been over here talking grown business.
It's all right. He's been exposed to a lot of stuff already.
That's cool, man. So I'm glad to have you guys here. You guys have been friends of mine for a long time. I mean, we've known each other for a long time. We come from the same area in Santa Barbara. And so you guys all have a background in a couple of things. One of them is really lifting, right?
Yeah.
But also bouncing. You guys have been bouncers together, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So
Lots of years. Different locations.
probably lots of stories, right?
Oh, my God.
So tell me about bouncing, because bouncing to me is always weird. Because my experience with bouncing was bouncers growing up always let me in the club when I was like 16. So I think of people like Kenji. Remember Kenji? We'd go with Kenji, right? So Kenji used to get me into the back. He used to slide me in the back door of clubs I shouldn't have been in. You know what I mean? When I was young. So tell me your experience about bouncing.
I think we all did that because I started doing that as well first, and then Alex started doing it. And
since Javi started saying names,
sorry, man.
don't worry, Kenji. You got your back like a
whatever.
brass.
That was like 25 years ago. And by the way, Kenji, man, what an amazing dude. You know what I mean? Like that's a stand-up guy. You know what I mean? Like he was
Great guy.
He was Asian, right? I don't know what kind of
Japanese.
He was Japanese, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Kenji was Japanese. But he grew up in Santa Barbara with
super strong,
huge. You know something about that guy? Speaking of working out, Santa Barbara was it Gym and Fitness?
Yep.
So
Santa
that was
Barbara
like
Gym
the
and
club
Fitness.
where we all worked out at. Like if you wanted to work out, you didn't go to Gold's and all the fucking sissy shit. You went there back in the day, right?
Yep.
And when I was young, I used to work out there. I used to train really heavy. And Kenji, that's where I really got to know Kenji better, more than just from school and hanging out and partying, right? Like, but I would watch Kenji, man. He would sit on the treadmill. And he was a big dude. He walked on the USC at one point, right?
Yeah. He walked on his running back.
So he was a big guy, man. He had a barrel chest, right? He would crank the freaking treadmill up to like 10.
No, it was like 12.
It was 12?
Up to 12.
Was it 12? So, and sprint, bro, for like an hour. And I'm talking like a full-blown, and as a big guy. And I remember being young going, and I was probably bench pressing like 350 at the time, thinking I was badass. I'm like, he made me literally feel like a bitch. But watching him do that, I was like, I can never do that.
Yeah.
Running like, I suck. I got 2 left feet, bro. I could never run like that. But he was huge, strong, and could run, dude.
He could run.
He was a big guy, man.
Can move really good for
Very physically fit.
Physically fit.
Man.
Yeah. He was an animal, man. And back then they used to call me Termite. So you guys know Waldo Nuno?
Yeah.
Throw some other names out here, and I'm gonna tag them all. So I was a youngster back
Shout
then.
out
So
to Waldo and Mike.
yeah,
the Nuno
Waldo,
brothers.
Mike, and the Nuno brothers, and so when I was young and I used to train there, like I had my friends that were my age, like Jacob and Manny and those guys, right? And we would train there. But the older friends that I have from my brother's side, like from my brother's friends and stuff like that I grew up with, they would always take me under the wing, And Waldo was one of the guys there. So Waldo, Kenji, those guys, and Waldo and Kenji, they would call me Termite. And I was like, why you guys call me Termite? Because fool, you're little, but you're strong. Fool, you're strong. And I was like, damn, bro.
They're pumping you up.
Yeah, man, they were dope. No, but they're good guys, man. I would consider those like role models I looked up to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In that
definitely.
space. So So back to bouncing though. So you guys, how many clubs have you guys bounced at? Because you guys have bounced together at multiple clubs. Right?
So Mario and I started bouncing.
H2O.
Yeah, H2O. So
H2O. That's the club that Kenji used to let me into.
Yeah, Kenji worked with us.
So Kenji worked with us for a little bit. He worked there right before we took over. We started working there afterwards. There was a crew that worked there before, and they had like a falling out with the manager, and they all quit at the same time. So then they brought us in, and then that's how it is. But that was like a long time ago.
Because H2O's been around for a long time. I have a story about that too.
Yes.
Gnarly stories.
Yes. Yeah. I was there, the gnarly story.
Were you there that night? Were you bouncing that night?
Yes, I was there that night.
How did I not know that?
I was there.
There was a lot of gnarly stories.
That place.
Well, that one was gnarly, and it had me, and I won't say names because there's other people involved, but
the stabbing and the bottle breaking.
Should we talk about that? Because that's a gnarly story.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Touch on that? That's
there's some gnarly. I mean, I
won't use names.
I think about all like the crazy situations that I've been in with Tank here. The night that I met him, right?
Oh, that's a crazy. So that's way before all this
that
bouncing
was before the bouncing shit. I didn't know Tank. I didn't know Tank. But there was a party that you threw, and I don't know how. I don't drink. I don't like to drink, and I've never been a drinker. But I don't know how I became the tap master. So I had the tap.
Because it was my party. I needed a big guy at the keg.
So I was at the keg. I was the keg master, the tap master, whatever. And then the crow comes up. I won't use his real name. I'll use his alias.
We'll use the crow.
The crow comes up and says,
crow. Yeah.
The crow's like, hook me up, Robert. And there was a line. So I said, all right. So I filled up his beer before everybody else's. And then this big old tall dude comes over. I don't know who he was, but he just started talking shit to Crow.
Shit for no reason.
Well, he was a big ass West Sider. He was a big guy.
Yeah,
he was
and
tall.
So he went up, and him and his friend they were like talking shit to the Crow, and before I knew it, the Crow was fucking them up.
He didn't know that Crow was an animal though.
Yeah.
So you have a big dude talking shit to a little dude, not knowing the little dude is one of the most savagest men out there.
I mean,
he wasn't so little. He was just.
He was compact.
Yeah, he was.
What I'm saying is, he was like boxer fit. You know what I mean?
Like, he was fit.
But the big dude was like, I'll just manhandle this little fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
But he did. What I'm saying is, he didn't know who he was fucking with.
Yeah.
Because Crow is one of the best fighters I've ever seen in my life.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
That guy. I was so glad that guy was my friend.
Yeah. He's scary. He's a scary guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was connecting, dude.
Yeah.
He just
every shot.
So you guys know what happened. So he connected. So I watched it happen, and I was like, damn, here goes this party. You know. So I saw Crow hit him with like a good 2 or 3 quick shots, boom, boom, boom. And when the guy was falling down, Crow kneed him.
Yeah, he kneed him on the side of the face.
And just falling, he kneed him in the face, and his fucking eye fell out of his head.
Yeah.
So what people don't realize, it was crazy, is that guy was the stepfather of somebody that I got in trouble for beating the shit out of when I was in junior high. Damn. I got suspended for beating it, but it's a whole long story with my friend Jacob, and I won't say other names, but
you say a lot of names.
But I can say Jacob's name because it wasn't the guy who got beat up. The guy who got beat up, that poor guy, everyone knows who he is. But long story short is, when I seen Crow just demolish this guy and his eye fell out of his head, I'm like, what the fuck? And what happened is that guy was from the west side of town. We grew up and we knew everybody. I knew everybody from both sides of town. People don't understand that. I knew everybody.
That was like the thing is like we didn't really fall into that.
Yeah,
like we could walk around anywhere and
exactly.
We were friends with
everybody.
We
said hi to everybody.
It was my party. I invited all these people, right? And then it turned into a gang party, which was like East Side versus West Side. Naturally, it was organic. That like, hey, we know these people, they know them, and that's how the fight sparked off.
What I remember is, I think it was right after a Friday game.
Yeah, it was.
And back in the day, all the football players hung out together.
Yep.
They would all go to parties together. All the linemen in one truck, all the receivers over here, and we're all, you know. And I remember Lonnie was with me, and when this fight broke out, we were fucking messed up, you know.
Yeah.
So we're watching this thing happen, and I just see that guy just hold his up, but I didn't know his eye
fell out of his head.
Yeah.
His eye fell out of his head.
I was standing right there. I was like, "What did I just witness?"
Yeah, that knee knocked his eye out of his head. And you know what's crazy about that is that I think he had like no eye, and he had a fake eye after that, like a false eye. I'm pretty sure after that for a long time. And it's crazy because a lot of people, because I was young. By the way, these guys were all probably like 18 years old already.
I was.
You were at least 18.
They weren't.
I was 14 or 15.
No,
No,
because
no.
I was like 16. No,
So
I was 15.
You were seniors. You guys were seniors.
No, you guys were seniors. So you were like 17, 18?
17, 18.
Yeah, I was throwing
I was
parties.
17 then.
I was throwing gnarly parties at the age of like 14, 15. And my homie Eugene, fucking love Eugene. I'll tag him on this podcast. It was his house.
Yeah.
And what was crazy about that is Eugene grew up and he was part of the West Side Gang. And the people that were fighting at the party was West Side, East Side. So like there was a bunch of drama, man. Even after that fight happened, it was crazy. Then the people were like contacted from the West Side, contacting Eugene, like saying, "Why you have East Siders there?" And then people on the East Side were like, "Javi, why do you have West Siders there?" I was like, "Dude, I throw a party for everybody." You know what I mean? Like everyone came and had a good time.
It sucked because it was actually a really good party. We were having a good time. Everybody was having a good time.
It was huge. How many people were there?
There
was a lot of people.
There was hundreds of people
Hundreds
there.
of people there.
I used to throw the best fucking parties.
It was a gnarly party. And then when the fight broke out, I gathered my guys, which would be Alex and my cousin, and then there had been a rash of stories in the newspaper, and it all started with former Santa Barbara High School football player. And so I was like, I looked around and I see all these Letterman jackets, and I was like, God damn it. So I grabbed Tank, and he was the closest one. I said, get in the fucking car right now. And at the time I had a 1969 Mustang.
And I was looking for fat ass Lonnie. Because we always went to parties together.
Yeah.
We always were
Lonnie's
party
a good
together.
guy,
But it was pandemonium. It was like, people were getting...
It spilled out into the street, and it just like people fighting everywhere.
Everyone was fighting. People were getting stabbed.
By the way, Lonnie's no longer fat.
Yeah, he's like
super ripped now.
Marine,
Yeah, he's a Marine.
How is he doing, man? I haven't seen him in years.
Oh, dude, he's slimmed down. He looks good. Yeah.
I saw on Facebook. He had my Facebook years ago, but I haven't seen him since then.
I saw him
good,
like 3 years ago at the gym. I didn't recognize him. He came up to me. He's like, "What's up, man?" I'm like,
"He's in town."
He was here visiting or something. And it took me. I had to look at him. And I was like, and then finally I'm like, "Oh shit, Lonnie, what the fuck?"
Dude, he was a good dude, man. I saw him on Facebook when he added me. I was like, holy, or added him or whatever. We found each other on Facebook, whatever. But he was looked super skinny. I was like, that's not the Lonnie I remember.
And he's skinny and he's still super strong.
I remember him being the nose guard, man.
And he was
a walking muscle.
Yeah. He was one of the few. I think at the time there's only one other person that's bench pressed 315 at their freshman year in high school.
He was huge. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he was huge.
And I can't think of maybe Josh Bryant was the only other one.
I think Flea.
Flea?
Did he do 315?
No,
he didn't do 315.
It wasn't until
later on.
Sophomore year.
Yeah.
We know what happened sophomore year.
Yeah. Exactly. So, but I think Lonnie and Josh Bryant they're the only ones that their freshman year were
Lonnie was strong, dude. He was an animal, man.
And he
slimmed down and joined the Marines and just slimmed down.
You know, Mario sounds sexy on the mic. Just want to say that.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know what it is, bro, but this guy's he's got a radio tiro voice.
He's like the Mexican Barry White.
Hey, but Lonnie, Mexican Barry White. But Lonnie was a legit dude. I remember, like football, like when he would get down in the stance, and you'd be like, "Oh, no one wants to fuck with that dude." Like, you don't want to be the center blocking that guy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was a big dude.
So that night, it was the funny thing was that I grabbed Mario. I said, "Get in the car," because he had his and he was like, "Wait, I'm looking for Lonnie." I'm like, "Get in the fucking car. The cops are coming, and you have your Letterman jacket on with your name on it, and that's all we needed for them to be writing those stories, about Santa Barbara High School football players being involved in gang fights and stuff." So I backed out of the spot that I was in, and I punched. And so I had a 1969 Mustang, and I was in the process of renovating it. so when I punched it, one of the motor mounts broke, and the engine jumped. And then the fan broke the fan guard, and then tore through the radiator hose. So as I'm hauling ass getting out of there, the fucking radiator hose explodes, and there's smoke everywhere. So I pulled over, and I went to the trunk. I got my toolbox, opened the hood. Assessed the situation, went back, cut the radiator hose, reconnected it, and then fucking kept going.
Mexican MacGyver?
We were on the run.
But that was the beautiful thing of an old car was I had to have my toolbox and duct tape and baling wire in the back, and it was good.
So you MacGyvered it, and you got this fool out of there.
Yeah.
And you didn't even know each other.
I didn't know him. I just knew him because of the jacket.
Because of me.
Yeah, because I
everyone had SP. So that was the thing too back. Letterman jackets.
Yeah,
right?
Letterman
We don't even
jackets.
have those anymore. Like people don't wear them anymore. Like, not as they
some
used
people
to.
do. Some people do. Yeah, I've seen them around.
But back then that was.
But back then that was a big thing. You know, you wanted to get your Letterman jacket with your.
It was like the grease days, man. We were still living the grease days.
With your nickname on it.
Hey, Mija, you want to wear my Letterman jacket? Like
that's the way it was.
That's the way it was. So, but yeah, so it was, and then after that, every time I would see, like, oh, what's up? Because we had that shared experience, what I mean? Like, and then after that, I was like, we became friends. Then we reconnected working as bouncers. And then that's when we started working at H2O. And then his brother was Waldo as well. I don't know if we should throw his name. Should we throw his name out there?
Hey, tell us Waldo, old school homie from the east side.
Yeah.
Good dude, man.
So
when you talk to him, tell him Javi says what's up. He added me on Facebook recently, or like a year ago or whatever, but I was like, damn, I was Waldo. I was like, I haven't seen this fool in forever, man.
Yeah, he's doing good.
He's doing good?
Yeah.
Good, man. I'm glad to hear that.
Good dude.
Good dude for sure, man. Good dude.
So Oswaldo, we showed up to work, and Oswaldo goes, he'd tell me like, I feel like being a fucking asshole tonight. And then I was in a bad mood too. So then I said, yeah, me too. So then
anywhere he went, there's for sure fucking fight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so then the first person that did any little thing, we would snatch him up and then he, throw him out the door. And that's how it was, and it was like any little thing. And there was some funny stuff that would happen because of that, and I think back and I'm kind of feel fortunate not to have gotten shot.
Dude,
I mean, I got shot at, but like to think of
getting stabbed or something like that. Because H2O was very small.
We'll talk hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So everybody will either walk either way and bump into each other.
Yeah.
So that's when shit would happen.
And that's how shit starts. Hey, would you bump me?
We were standing in these fucking boxes at the edge of the bar.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And once you see Oswaldo standing on one, I'm like, fucking, he's gonna start something.
And it was your brother. She's like, hey,
yeah. But you know what? It was every weekend fregadazos.
Oh yeah.
Every weekend, and it was always like Robert, the Russians.
Yep.
Alex,
Max, Alec, and
I remember that guy, dude.
And my brother, for sure, every weekend.
Yeah. Putazos.
Fighting outside or in the front or in the hallway.
And I even think about like how funny that like I think about how crazy that it was because I was in a fight like 3-4 guys at once, 5 guys at once. What the hell was I thinking? You know what I mean? But I just naturally did it. It wasn't like I went into it like, all right, 5 guys, I'm gonna fight them. No, it was like, all right, let me go take care of this one guy. But now it's 4 friends are jumping in. Now I'm fighting 5 guys.
Yeah. There was a time where some guys come up to me and they're like, hey, are you going to go help your brother? He's going to fight right now. And then I look over there and Robert's got one guy from his belt loop and another guy in the front headlock that were going to fight each other, but he's pulling them both out. And they're like, are you going to help your brother? I said, what do you mean? Like, help him what? He's taking 2 guys out.
I don't think people know how big you guys are, though. That's the thing, though. People don't understand how big. I'm sitting around a fucking bunch of big 4x4 fucking double In-N-Out burgers right now. So these are some big men, I feel like a little princess in here, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, these are some big ass dudes. Like H2O was nuts, though. Yeah, that place was nuts. What was it before H2O?
Safaris, Beach Club,
so
Prime Directive.
You know how crazy Crow. When I was, I don't know why my mom thought it was cool to let me hang out with violent people and drug dealers when I was young, but she trusted me with those people. Like with Eugene, for instance, right? Eugene was, let's not put too much of business out there, but he was having a good time as a young man, right? Yes. And she thought, when I say young man, he was in his mid-20s and I was like 15, and she's like, yeah, go ahead and hang out with that guy. It's cool. He can hang out with him. I trust him. You can go for road trips outside of town, do whatever you want. Crow was the same way. For some reason, my mom trusted him, loved him. Well, it's because Crow comes from a good family, right? I'm still really close to his brother.
And Crow wasn't a bad guy. Crow was a good dude. He just got in, like, he wouldn't take shit from people. And so he
was reactive.
Yeah. He was
if
reactive.
Somebody came up to him, he wouldn't back down.
But he would end it immediately. Like so that's why I always tell people, like, there's men and there's men amongst men. He's one of those guys that look like that in the sense that you don't want to fuck with that dude. That's one dude you don't want to fuck with. No. You know what I mean? Period. Like you said, Robert. I'm sitting here looking at Robert. Robert's a huge dude, and he's like, yeah, I don't want to fuck with that dude. And he's probably like 4 or 5 inches shorter than you.
Yeah,
but you're like, I don't want to fuck with that dude. You know what I mean? Like he was that guy. You know what I mean? So, but
there's a few guys like that from Santa Barbara. I mean, and people don't think about Santa Barbara being a place like that,
right?
You know, but you got to remember Chuck Liddell comes from Santa Barbara.
Exactly.
Like there's people that there's a lot of there's some famous special forces guys that are from Santa Barbara.
Yep.
There's Santa Barbara produces some pretty gnarly intense people.
It's pretty intense. Yeah, for sure. So the H2O story I have is pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
So I was going there. So Crow got me into safaris before his H2O, and the way he did it, he's like, come here. They called me the kid. That was my nickname because I was young. Everybody was about 5 to 10 years older than me, and I was probably like 14, 15. And Crow's like, hey, if you drive us to the club, I'll get you in. I was like, cool, I can get you there and we can go home. He's like, yeah. So drove the homies to the club, and he literally gets back then. They were like putting like stamps in your hand that were like you could put a black light over or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so he licked his hand, put it on my hand. And that's all he did. And I was in. And I was like, that's all you had to do, bro? That's it? That's it? Are you serious? I could have paid some hoodie here like $5 to do that, bro. I had no idea. You know what I mean? So get in the club. That was safaris. That was back to safari days. Yeah. And then in H2O, I think I was probably like 16 at the time. And we go to that club or whatever. And by the way, this was like I was going there often. This was like every weekend thing. Let's go. Are we going out or are we going out? You know what I mean? And so we'd go out. We'd go to that club. And I was there one night. And I won't name this person's name. But he's a good friend of ours, and he was basically I was dancing with somebody at the time, right? And I'm like 15, 16, dancing with someone who's like 25, 26, this really hot chick or whatever. And I didn't know that she had a man apparently, and the man showed up at the club. And back then, Santa Barbara had this big thing between Santa Barbara and Oxnard, which was like there was a lot of violence between the communities, you know, back then. I mean, we know somebody who got killed because of that, right?
Yeah.
So
two people.
Yeah. And so back then that was a thing. And so I didn't know who these people were, and I was just a kid having fun, drinking in the bar, you know, whatever, dancing. And next thing I know, I look over my friend, and I'm gonna even name this at this point, grabs my face and pushes me as hard as he can, and I fly back. I'm like, what the fuck? And as he does that, I see a bottle flying past my face in someone's hand. He ducks it and then bottles the guy back. And then it's like a huge fight pops off, right? And so he was basically, I was going to get bottled by some older dude who was upset about his chick throwing herself at me. By the way, I had no idea she had a fucking dude, you know what I mean? She's just one of those chicks doing whatever, having fun. And then both of us proceed to bottle this guy on the top of his head. Now we're both bottling this guy because like it's just an attack, right? Like now we're reacting. Boom, 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 boom. This guy falls off of the stage. It's like an elevated stage. Falls off, hits probably the ground.
4 feet too.
Yeah,
it's a high stage.
He got pushed off that. Tripas bottles him. That's what we'll call him. Tripas bottles him a couple times on the head, and the bottle's not breaking. So he hits him like a good 3 or 4 times with the bottle, but the bottle was full still, so it wasn't breaking. Right, and then finally when it empties out, he breaks it, and the guy falls off, hits the ground. I'm like, yeah. So me and Tripas are hugging each other like, yeah. But I feel this wetness on the back of my hand. I'm like, oh shit, what is this? Well, that guy had stabbed him a couple times. You know what I mean? And so
then I came up and I saw that he had gone stabbed. So then that's when I said, I was like, you want me to call the ambulance? And he said, no, I need to get out of here. Yep. So I escorted him and the female that was with you guys out the back door. As I'm going to the front, the more guys that were with that guy started fighting the rest of the group.
We all jumped in right away, immediately.
So there was the rest of the group, and then on the way out, I guess the knife that they had stabbed Tripas with got passed off to the guy's brother. Yep. And then he turned around and stuck it in our other.
Yeah, well, we're gonna beep that out too.
Yeah. I don't know.
Cheese. We'll call him Cheese. We'll call him he stuck it in Cheese's back. So we all have nicknames, right?
Yeah.
Tripas, Cheese, the kid.
He stuck it in Cheese's back, and then so then that's when there's another friend.
What happened? Keep talking. You're good. Someone's headphones. Your headphones are off?
I think the mic. Oh, here you go.
Oh, you're good.
So So as we're taking the guys out, we're separating the fights and stuff like that. Then it keeps going. The fight keeps going.
You took tripas out the back.
Yeah.
I didn't go with you guys.
No,
I came back in to fucking fight and didn't even know what was going on.
yeah, and then
By the way, I had a white shirt on and I'm full of blood.
yeah, and it was a lot of people. Though. A lot of people had a bunch of blood on there. Yeah. So after I saw Cheese get Cheese, I put Cheese on the ground, and then and so I'm kind of like watching over him, and I'm trying to. For some reason, an ambulance pulled up right away. Like it was like almost like instantly appeared.
Well, the cop, because you want to know why? Because the cops saw it happen, but they knew the guys were from Oxnard. They knew they were there causing trouble, and they knew they were stabbing people. So the cops actually let it happen.
Those guys were actually from Ventura.
They were from Oxnard.
They're from the Avenue.
No, they're from Oxnard.
No,
100%. I have a funny story about that too. Years later, I met one in a really random way who said, I knew your face from somewhere. They were from Oxnard.
Oh, really?
Yes, they're from Oxnard. Yeah, and what's crazy about that? Yeah. So, anyways, but so the cops, Santa Barbara, whether they're from Ventura, Oxnard, whatever, but the cops in Santa Barbara saw it happening and they let us fight them. They were like, they stepped back. They're like,
I actually, when I was breaking up the fights, the paramedics started helping me break up the fights.
The paramedics were doing more than the officers.
Yeah. And then there was 2 officers there, and they both and I was kind of like trying to get them to get involved. Like I turned around and they're like, you need to calm down. And I said, no, you guys are too calm for this situation. And I was like getting mad at them. And then they, so then Cheese's brother comes out and sees him on the ground with a freaking knife
sticking out his back.
knife was in his spine.
Yeah. So we had another friend.
His knife, the knife.
Another guy comes over and tries to pull the knife out. And I'm like, no, leave it in there. Cause it cuts, going in and it's in a cut coming out. So just leave it in there. Right. Let them remove it at the hospital. And then, so then there was like a still the paramedics were helping me. And then when Cheese's brother came out and saw him with a knife in his back, he started like going nuts.
He lost it.
He lost it. So then Nugget had
Cheese's another homie Nugget. Yeah.
So Nugget grabbed Cheese's brother. Yeah. And the only reason why
Nugget was there?
Yeah, Nugget was there.
How did I miss? See, it's chaotic, man.
So the only reason why I know is because I told Nugget, I said, take him. They're going to take him to St. Francis Hospital, which is closed now, but that's how long ago it was. They're going to take him to St. Francis, take him there. So and he's like, no, let me go. And I said, no, I'm going to get him out of here. And then, so then I grabbed, so then Nugget, grabbed him and I'm helping Nugget like secure Cheese's brother, and then the officer walks up and pepper sprays all of us, and I was like, God damn it,
he didn't know.
He just pepper sprayed all of us, and I was just like, man, I was so mad. I was like, that was the second time I'd ever been pepper sprayed, and I just remember I really hate being pepper sprayed.
I've been maced before. That's the worst thing ever, dude.
Yeah, I've been like now it's probably been pepper sprayed like 5 times, 6 times.
Every weekend we get pepper sprayed.
Really?
Yeah. Every weekend.
I was maced, but that's the worst thing
used
ever.
to it.
We would get the overspray.
So is mace worse than pepper spray? Because I got maced, and that was some shit that is like it's a chemical that burns in a way that
I'm not sure what the difference is.
I think one's more oily than the other. So if you try to rub it, you spread it more.
Mace was bad. That's a whole other story. But back to so you know what's crazy is that when you had took the homie Tripas out the back, and him and the female at the time had went to the emergency room, I ran back in like a dummy because I'm like, fuck this. Like, this fool stabbed my homie. I'm going to do what I can. And I just see all of our homies. And here's the crazy thing, though. These fools started shit and then got the shit beat out of them.
Yeah, the one that stabbed
Cheats?
Tripas.
What about Cheats? I could say Cheat, though. Yeah. So Cheat, though.
He kicked that guy in the face.
So not only that, he dropped like 2 or 3 people.
Yeah, he dropped a bunch.
They were coming up and he's like, drop, boom. Like one hand punches, left, rights, was dropping people left and right.
This was outside. Once it was all over, the cops had him sitting down on the curb.
Yeah, he's still fucking.
And then he just field goaled them.
And the cops were cool with it because they were like, hey, these fools started it. That's what I was going to tell you, though. So when I came back in, when Cheese had the knife in his back and they were pulling him out of the club, one of those fools tried to run up and hit the knife, like digging into him harder. And Chito came up and fucking laid that fool out, like clean. Yeah. Like I was like, oh.
He broke his hand that night.
Yeah. He broke. I mean, he was just laying fools out, right? Yeah. And that's the thing is, people like, we dressed nice, we looked nice. As a young guy, right, we were like, we would go out like to the nines, like we're dressed to the nines. but people didn't know. Like, don't fucking fuck with us, bro. You know what I mean? And they were like, they were thuggish cholo. They were the cholo types. You know what I mean? And so it's crazy because that fight started because of me, and a bunch of people had circumstances because of it. And I will never be more proud of the homies that I grew up with though that night, just going to war. Like, it sparked off a fucking war in the club. You know, 2 people got stabbed, right? A bunch of shit happened. And I remember, here's one thing I remember too. I won't say the fool's name because I won't shame him right now, but he's a punk. I'm going to go ahead and say that. So when all that shit happened, after Chito knocked that fool out, I remember running down the street because I have blood all over me, right? I'm like, and I'm not even supposed to be in the club. I'm not even 21 yet. I'm like 15 or 16. I run
and
down
just
to
for
the
the
end
record,
of,
I didn't know. I did not know. If I would have known, I wouldn't have let him in the club.
So I run to the end of the block. Remember at the end of the block, there's like a, what's this, H2O, there's like Metro 4 and other shit, right?
Yeah, it's like the world market now.
Yeah, all that shit. So I run to the end of the block and I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't want to get picked up by the cops. So I look around the corner and I see a guy who came with us that night. I won't say his name, but he's all scared. And I look at him and I go, what are you doing, bro? We're fighting over there. What the fuck are you doing? He's like, and I'll tell you guys who he was later.
Yeah.
And he's fucking scared. I said, if you don't get your ass in this fucking fight, you're a bitch, dude. You're an adult. You're an adult. Like, I'm over here fighting and you're not fighting? No, I'll tell you later. These fools are asking me off, Mike. Who it is. I'll tell you guys later.
Sign language
and shit. No. But I remember thinking to myself, like, what is wrong with you, bro? You know what I mean? And just thinking like, okay. So out of all the guys that were there that night, there was one dude who I was like really disappointed in. But here's the funny thing. So I jump into my 1984 Civic station wagon hatchback. Just what I had, right? And I drive to the emergency room, right? Because I'm like, my homie's there. He's got to be there. So I call him. He's there. He's with the chick he was with at the time. And I show up. And by the way, I have no idea that I'm full of blood. I don't know I'm full of blood yet. I didn't know yet. And so I go to the emergency room and I'm there and they're like, oh yeah, oh Javi, fucking kid, what's going on? I was like, all right, cool. Is he okay? Like, yeah, he's gonna be okay. They're gonna stitch him up. He'll be fine. You know, he got a couple stabs to the back and he'll be fine. And I'm sitting there and the cops show up, right? And the cops are like, who was there tonight? And I was like, I wasn't there.
You're dressed in blood.
And the chick who was with the homie goes, Javi, you stupid, come here. She throws me in the bathroom, and I look in the mirror and I go, oh, I had blood on my face, all over my white shirt. I'm like, I wasn't there. And the cop goes, how old are you? I was like, I wasn't there, sir. And so they start asking questions, right? But the cops were still kind of confused. They didn't know what had happened. It was a big fucking like riot in the club pretty much. And the cop goes, hey, you stay here. I said, hey, I'll stay here. I slipped off the fucking back. I'm out of here. I'm gone, right? So I don't know how they found out who the fuck I was, but they did. And so I think probably because it was on camera. So that club had cameras everywhere. And that's what ended up in court, by the way, is there was clubs, there was cameras and stuff. And they were like, who is this underage skinny ass kid that's in this club that this whole shit started over? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I was like, it wasn't me. And so they contacted me like, you need to come and be a witness in this case. And I was like, no, I'm cool. I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't there. I'm not 21. Of course I wasn't there. They're like, we got you on camera, stupid. And I was like, I don't know who that is, but it wasn't me. Fucking A, man. But that was a crazy night, man. Crazy night.
And that was the thing is that that was like a weekly event.
I wasn't there that night, so
yeah, that was a weekly event.
Tell us your guys. I want to hear your guys' story because you guys probably have some gnarly stories, man.
I have
I mean, there's just so many fucking stories.
Yeah.
Some are funny. Some are like dangerous, crazy, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes just little things will just snowball into something big.
Right.
What was our door guy's name? Steve?
Steve and
Guevara?
Yeah.
Remember Steve?
Throw names out there?
No, that's all right. No, he was a good dude.
Yeah,
he was
he's
legit.
a CEO somewhere.
Yeah, he works for the feds.
Oh, cool.
So he was good. And then the other guy was Frank. And he was also known as Asshole Frank because he was an asshole. Like he was like the perfect door guy.
What club was this at though?
It was H2O.
H2O. So was this is probably after that?
Yeah, this is after.
Yeah, okay.
Because we tightened things up.
I stopped going after that.
We got because we had there was a guy in charge, Petty.
Yeah.
And he was kind of a joke. And so once we got him eliminated, we were able. They put me and Dan. Shout out to Dan Umania.
Dan, we should brought him over.
I know. We'll put him on another one. So Dan and I became the security supervisors, and so then we kind of
buff black Dan.
Yeah, no, he's not black. That's a different Dan.
That's a different Dan.
Yeah.
Okay, that guy used to let me in the club too.
That
guy was
Central American Dan.
Yeah, this is
Central American. He was Guatemalan Dan.
Costa Rican Dan.
Okay.
Costa Rican Dan.
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you off.
Yeah, but he was a big dude, bald guy. You know, like he was. So him and I were in charge, and we were able to tighten things down. Plus, we got talked to by the cops. They pulled us aside one time, and they said, "Hey, if you guys go hands on, you need to arrest them, do a citizen's arrest. Otherwise, we're gonna arrest you guys." Because the sergeant he's like, I literally sat outside of the club, and I watched those 4 guys, and it was like me, Osvaldo, Tank, and somebody else. He's all just literally throw people out the door.
Just put it this way. Every night that we worked, the fucking paddy wagon was in the front in an ambulance.
Yes.
Well, that's H2O had a paddy wagon in front
just
of
throw fucking people out.
Well, they had a cop car there and an ambulance all the time.
Yeah.
But that was after what happened.
Yeah, it was after
with
that
our situation.
It was
Even I remember Wicked, DJ Wicked
Yeah.
would play that song, Another One Bites the Dust.
Yeah.
Every time we throw somebody out, it's just better,
What he's on there?
was
Another
a little
one bites the
snare
dust.
there. Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Wicked, man.
It was,
Love that,
and then,
man.
well, we had was the nights that Q1047 would have they would host the night on Friday nights.
You'd get guys from all over.
Yeah, every cholo from Santa Maria to Oxnard would show up at the
Santa
club.
Paula.
That club was just fucking. It would attract cholos.
Yeah, but you know what? I'll give you this. I did not mind working there because people were polite. Believe it or not.
Yeah, don't step on my shoes. I won't step on yours.
Yeah, so people were polite. I go work at Wildcat, and when I worked at Wildcat, Big Mike called me up one day. He's like, "Hey, can you help us out? We need help with my
Shout
shirt."
out to Big Mike.
I went over there and I worked, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, these people are fucking rude, disrespectful, fucking rude. And why? Because they have no idea that this little incident can turn into a fucking stabbing, getting punched in the face, or a bottle breaking on their face,
Violence.
Well, growing up Latino, one of the first things I was told, because I was a younger,
Growing up Mexican.
whatever, call it whatever you want.
Latinx.
Are you Latinx now, Alex, or what? I'm just asking.
Whatever.
I'm just kidding. Latinos. I mean, you know what's crazy? Okay, keep go. We'll talk about that later.
So when you're not supposed to be in a place that you're in, you learn real quick, or the older guys, like you said, the bigger homies, they tell you what to do and how to do it and what to look for and what to stay away from.
Right.
So something as simple as looking at somebody for too long or bumping into somebody on accident without turning around and saying sorry or excuse me, my bad. Like, without doing that alone can cause a fight or 100%. A major incident. So you learn to be respectful. You learn to mind your P's and Q's.
Yep.
You learn to respect other people's space.
Yeah, because even just a stare.
Yeah,
a stare can
what
stir
the
a
fuck
fucking
you looking
I was just gonna
at,
say, how many fights have you
Yeah.
seen me get into? Because I'm like, what the fuck are you looking at, bro? You know, like
this shit.
yeah, with the neck, right? Yeah. People can't see that. So you gotta explain. So it's the Mexican hello and the Mexican what's up, puto.
Yeah.
You know, it's the nod head, right? Like the nod. Oh, right. What's up, fool?
Yeah.
What's up?
It's kind of dumb because you can't tell whether that's like
You're not on mic, bro.
like a hi or let's go, fool. Like you can't tell.
You don't know.
The difference.
See, even Maximo at 13 knows it's the Mexican hello or the Mexican cubo puto.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's but you're right though. I don't know how many fights in my younger years I got into because of that. Or somebody bumped into me and I'm like, hey bro, say excuse me. And they're like, I'm not gonna say excuse me. Then now we're fighting, asshole. You know, like
It's like a challenge thing.
it's like a challenge, yeah. It's
Right.
like it's an alpha male thing.
It's a machismo thing.
It's a machismo thing.
Yeah. And so that was the difference. Like you working at H2O, like you bump into somebody and they'd be like, oh, dispensa or sorry or whatever.
Dispensa.
Yeah. But they'd say it right away. Only because they knew that it could turn into something ugly. Like, like for instance, like I don't drink, right? But I hate domestic beers. I hate domestic beers because the glass is really thin, and when they hit you in the head with it, it breaks and it cuts you.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I like Modelos. Modelos, the glass is really thick, and they're squatty bottles.
They
just,
shatters quicker.
they don't shatter. They just bounce. It just goes.
It hurts, but it don't cut your head.
Yeah, it hurts, but it don't cut your head. So that's why I like Modelos. That's my favorite beer.
I've been hit by bottles, back of the head or my back, or at the time when their shit's going down, you don't feel it.
Right.
but then you feel it afterwards. Fucking bruises, or somebody tells, hey, you got hit in the head with a bottle, or your back, and you're over here fighting with people, and you don't feel it at the time.
Yeah, I had a bunch of bottles broken on my head, which is crazy, man. And I've only been cut once, a small cut. Yeah, it wasn't a big deal. My brother got bottled one time at Sharky's, and he got cut bad.
Yeah,
he got cut really bad, man. And that was Oxnard Falls too.
So one of the funny stories that I'm gonna tell is there was we try to organize things because before, like when we first started, there was a fight. Every single bouncer would show up to the fight, and then I was like, man, this is like, it's a little too much, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna limit it. So I broke up the club into quadrants, and every quadrant had a guy in it, and then there would be the roamers. So the roamer and the guy in the quadrant would take care of that. Meanwhile, everybody else stays in their spot. Right. Just kind of organize it a little. So me and Dan and I were the roamers. And
is this the Dan I know or the other Dan?
The other Dan.
Okay.
Dan Umanya.
Yeah. Okay. Just dropping names today.
No, it's fine. He's a great dude. I'm sure he doesn't mind we're dropping his name right now.
Really good
guy. So there's two girls fighting. I mean, and they were duking it out. I mean, it wasn't like a scratching hair pulling thing. I mean, they were slinging them. They were slinging them dogs. And so they were going at it. So then Dan and I walk up and I said, okay, I'll grab one. You grab the other one. Take her out the front door. I'll hold this one till you clear the door. And then I'll take the other one out. All right, cool. So he grabs one. And the one he grabs happens to be Latina or Mexican, whatever. He grabs her, boom, pulls her out.
Latina X.
Yeah. Latinx.
Latinx.
So I don't want to assume her gender.
Just so Alex doesn't get upset.
Yeah. so then he grabs her, picks her up, boom. So then I grabbed the girl the one I grabbed was Filipino. Okay. So I grabbed her and I just kind of bear hugged her and I picked her up off the ground and I'm holding her. So then I see Dan clear the door. So I start like carrying her out the door and she's trying to like struggle free. And then someone comes. So now I'm walking into Oswaldo's quadrant where he's in charge of, right?
Oh, Oswaldo was a bouncer too?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know he bounced.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I'm walking into Oswaldo's quadrant and he's standing on his podium, on his box, overlooking everything, right? And so then I'm going by with that girl and I'm carrying her out. And then all of a sudden I feel someone grab the back of my shirt. So I figured like, all right. And I tucked my shoulders, bracing for a punch to the back of the head. That's what I assumed was coming next.
Right.
So I kind of I lifted up my shoulders and I tucked it in my head. And then all of a sudden I see Oswaldo just dive off the box that he's on. I mean, he's Superman, like dove off the box. So then all of a sudden I feel like the back of my shirt pull really hard and then it just let go and just sprung back.
Like a bra strap.
Yeah. So I was just like, cool. So I figured Oswaldo took care of it, right? So I'm going. And I go, and by that time, some of our PD's outside, and so they grab the girl. They grab her, and they're handcuffing her. So then I turn around, and I see Oswaldo dragging this guy on the floor, right? He's dragging the guy on the floor, and then Oswaldo's like he's all like kind of like irritated and agitated, and and he's dragging the guy on the floor, pulls him out. The guy's knee is up, but his foot is plopped off to the side. So I'm thinking to myself, holy shit, you broke his leg.
He had a prosthetic on.
He dragged the leg.
Is that the one with he got in a fight outside the smoking area?
Yeah.
And he was in the floor and his fucking leg was pointing.
No, that was a different guy. This one was
wait. This fool was in the one-legged kicking ass contest and lost, or what?
Yes. And so the guy that I guess the guy that was this girl's boyfriend or husband or I don't know what they were a couple. He saw me grabbing the girlfriend and that's why he went to grab me. But then when Oswaldo saw him, he dove off and tackled the guy for grabbing me. And he drug him out. His knees pointing up. His foot plopped off to the side. I'm thinking myself, oh my God, you broke his leg. I'm thinking like, holy shit, and so then he gets up and the leg stays on the ground and he's hopping and he goes, you guys are fucked up, man. You guys are fucked up. And I'm thinking to myself like, this is fucking crazy. So, just stuff like that happen all the time.
Was he at least a veteran?
I don't know. I don't know what he was, but he had one leg, and then we had another fight in the back, and
it was actually in the front, in the smoking area.
Oh yeah, the front patio. There's a little smoking area in the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's where you go. That's when you're so you have to dance for. That's where you go to kind of cool off.
yeah,
Like,
cool
come here, babe.
off.
Let me talk to you
Yeah.
outside of the. There's not a lot of music here.
Yeah.
How many? Oh man, so many girls were taken there and be like, hey, what's going on?
So he was in there, and then and they got in a fight, and
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I just heard it on the radio, front, so I run over there because I know Oswaldo was over there.
Right.
And I see this guy on the floor with his leg again
it's
pointing
sticking
up. Yeah.
yeah, it's like his body's like anatomically his leg should have been on the ground, but because it was prosthetic, it was sticky straight up in the air.
If that's a big word, anatomically.
Yeah. Like anatomy. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying that's a big word. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to put a fucking Webster dictionary post for that one. Girls are gonna know what the fuck is anatomically.
Yeah.
It means
yeah.
organically in your body. That's how it's supposed
the
to
way
shape,
it's supposed to be the body.
Sorry, fucking big word guy.
Sorry, I won't use any more 3-syllable words.
Yeah, it was. I mean, there was a lot of funny stories. I mean, I'm trying to think.
Yeah,
I remember when somebody got socked in the. I won't say his name. He got socked by a girl.
Yeah, and then
Got punched by a girl.
yeah, he got punched by a girl.
Okay, there was a fight. There was a girl fight. Right.
Might as well tell it now.
I know. So there. Well,
Just drop his name.
Drop his name.
No, actually,
Say it.
yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to think.
He was our door guy.
Oh, he was a
Right.
door guy. Okay.
So he just posted up in the front. So there was a girl fight. So I grabbed
Checking
the girl.
IDs and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So checking for weapons or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Weapons, fucking.
And this guy, he was a weirdo. Like he used to work at in a morgue.
Well, let's just drop his name. Fuck it.
No,
I'm just kidding.
he was a big dude, but he was a pacifist.
He was strange.
Yeah,
You
he's
know?
just a strange guy.
And so, anyways, I'm walking the girl out, and she's talking shit or whatever, and the bouncer guy was the doorman was right in front of the girl. So as we're walking out, he turns around and the girl socks him.
Like right in the mouth.
Like you just
She just caught a clean
She
one.
Yeah.
clean right cross
to the
right,
bouncer guy.
Yeah,
right in front of the cops and everything. So I grabbed her and I did one of these.
and he spun around.
Yeah.
So she was like, I don't know, 100 or something. So I picked her up and just slammed her on the floor
Well,
in front of the cops. And
yeah.
the cops saw everything.
So the cops saw
you know,
everything. So she's going nuts, right?
she starts hitting the cops.
Yeah. So luckily she stops hitting the cops because when Tank slammed her, she broke her arm.
I broke her arm.
She broke her arm.
Oh.
So PD came the next day, following weekend, and they told me that that it was good because I saw an officer, and I guess she started fighting with the cops.
And she was just out of control.
So she was just being wild.
Yeah.
See, it's one of those girls who thinks like I can beat anyone up. No, settle down,
there's
dude.
a lot of those.
If I'm a chick and I'm 150 pounds, I look at Tank. I'm not trying to fuck with Tank. You know what I mean? Like,
You know what? But she didn't sock me. That's the thing. I just
she
just
socked-
but she socked your
tried-
homie though.
Yeah.
Like, she fucking.
And so we obviously
In other words, don't start
exaggerated.
shit and there ain't gonna be
yeah,
shit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
we
so-
obviously exaggerated, so we
yeah.
would like say like, "Oh man, it's like the scene from Rocky." Like her fist was connecting with the mouth, the spit and blood were coming out the other side,
He
and
got so much shit.
oh man,
so
he
she
was,
connected on him though. Huh?
She
Oh,
like
dude,
clean.
Stole.
See, that's the thing, man, is that like, and I always tell women this, like, it's cool. I understand you're independent, you're whatever, all the things that women love to say about themselves today, like being strong and all that good stuff, right? But don't fucking get physical with the man. Don't do that. You know what I mean? Because I've had girls tell me, I'll hit a guy. I'm like, oh, you're going to hit the wrong dude, and he's not going to care, and he's going to fucking hit you back. And that's not, yeah.
They don't expect that guy hitting back.
Exactly. They
So
don't
think
expect
they can
that.
hit you, but you know.
It's dangerous, man. There's some piece of shit men out there.
Well,
Like
I
that
would
guy.
like to think most guys wouldn't.
Yeah,
But there's that. But that's exactly my point, though. Most guys won't, but there's that 2% that will.
Yeah.
I was restrained.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I just restrained her
yeah.
gently.
He didn't hit her; the ground did.
yeah. Well, no. I mean, what I'm saying is that that's like. In other words, everybody just keep your fucking hands to yourself.
Yeah,
Right.
That's that. At the end of the day, keep your fucking hands to
self
yourself.
accountability.
Because there's some women out there who will beat the shit out of me. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure there's a woman out there who's like a special forces chick who's fucking badass and probably could put hands on me. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna have to stab her 5 times. No. I mean, I'm just saying I might have to stab her 5 times or whatever. But I'll get over on her. But what I'm saying is that like at the end of the day, keep your fucking hands to yourself. That's really what it boils down to. You know, like don't do that shit. Because I've seen this trend lately of and women will message me and DM me and say, "Oh, fuck a guy, I'll hit a guy." I'm like, "Ooh, let me give you a little piece of torta whisper advice."
Yeah.
Which is Don't do that because sure you can probably hit like 9 guys, but the 10th guy you hit, that might be the guy that's gonna fucking gonna hurt you. You know what I mean? Like don't. It's just not. Just be smart about it. People don't hit. Just keep your hands to yourself. That's all I'm saying.
Definitely.
So, but that chick probably deserved it. Sound like she did.
Well, yeah, and then her sister came back like 2 weeks later and apologized to us and said, "Yeah, my sister was all on cocaine and this and that." And
a lot of
she's
times,
like, "Can I still come back in?"
She's like, "Thanks for breaking my sister's arm. Hey, she's fucked up. I get whatever."
Yeah, a lot of times when we would kick people out in the act of fool,
Yeah.
and they get kicked out, they will come back the next following weekend and apologize and fuck, I fucked up or whatever. But it was never towards like the bouncers.
Right.
It was never a fight like 1-on-1 because whatever. Even at Ruby's.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Ruby's. Now that's in my current neighborhood. Now Ruby's got to be rough.
So yeah, we
It was interesting.
It was very interesting.
yeah, we my cousin ended up buying Ruby's, and then he says,
Is it still there?
"Yeah, it's still there." It's actually they've been posting some really bomb ass seafood. I really want to go.
Are they going to start partying soon? Because if we do, we got to go there. And
Yes, we will.
All right.
We'll do that.
I'm just saying.
Or if not,
Sneak me in.
no, you cannot.
No,
go
you
in.
can't. Man, when you're 16, we'll talk.
But the food looks really bomb right now that they have there. I don't know if you guys seen the posts. It's like
I have. It looks amazing.
Good. It looks super good.
Your cousin still owns it?
Yeah. It's
Okay, I didn't know he was your cousin.
Yeah. So he bought the place and tells me, "Hey, Robert, I need you to clean this place up." And I said, "Okay, I'll do my best." So obviously I go to the guys that I know, the guys that I've been to battle with for a long time. So brought them all back, Tank, Enrique, and then we added some
Dan was there for a while.
Dan was there for a long time. And Abraham, the homie Abraham.
Hitman, or the fucking Hitman.
Yeah.
The Hitman.
Abraham, and then we had a little Mario. Or that little tiny guy Mario,
fucking Ruben.
See, that's why I won't bounce with you guys. You guys call me the tiny guy. Fuck
Yogi.
We had one guy that was small,
Yeah.
but everybody was like over 200 pounds.
I'm over 200. Can I go
At
back?
least. And then
the thing is, what Robert did is, a lot of these places just hire guys just to have bodies.
Right.
We were like not go
real?
interview, but because a lot of people think that just because you're a bouncer, a big guy, you know how to fight.
Right.
That's
not true.
And that's not the thing. You need to know how to talk to people. You can't just fucking go there and manhandle somebody. Huh? Yeah.
Verbal judo.
Yeah.
So tripas, we have a story about tripas and bouncers thinking they can fight and can't fight. We'll talk about that next.
Yeah. And so I kind of got the guys that I knew that I could trust and stuff like that. And then I was able to meet some. So most of the guys were from Santa Barbara. And then I was able to meet some guys from Oxnard that were freaking amazing dudes. Ninja.
Yeah. Andy.
Shout out to Andy Navarro.
Hey, he should be here, man. I feel bad I didn't invite him. I'm going to tag him on this podcast.
Yeah, tag him on the podcast, and we can do another one with him.
So Andy was at Ruby's too?
Yeah.
We'll do another one with him too. Okay.
Andy was at Ruby.
He taught my son Taekwondo, man.
Yeah.
El Rey de Cervezas. What's his name? That's what he calls him.
El Rey de Cervezas?
Yeah.
The king of beers?
That's a
The
bad
king
name.
of beers?
Yeah.
Come on, Bud Light, settle down.
Ernie.
He
Oh,
called
funny
himself
story
the
with
king of
Ernie.
beers,
No, he
bro?
didn't call us. We called him that.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
he calls himself Rey. Anyways, funny story with Ernie. Every time we would have banda nights on Saturday nights.
It became every night.
It now became every night. Anyways, he would find the shortest guy in the club and just stay with him like through the middle of the night.
Stand behind him.
Just stand behind him like this.
What a day, dude.
And the guy would just go like this. And Ernie just like... and just walk behind him all night.
What a fucking day.
Ernie's like 6'5", 6'6".
He's big and he's a big old Mexican.
Yeah, he's like 400 pounds. And so he's
What
huge.
a dick, dude. What a dick.
And so you just find the smallest guy. And so I was able to meet some good dudes and
What about El Yogi?
Oh yeah, Yogi.
Shout out,
Yogi.
rest in
Shout out
peace.
to rest in peace.
If you were in there, he would.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. I'd be fucking standing right behind me.
Rest in peace, Yogi.
Yeah.
Yeah, he passed
He
away.
passed away? That guy Yogi did?
Yeah, he's a good dude too.
No
Good
way.
dude, man. Yeah.
He was our door guy. So
He was a guy could
He
spot.
was the big dude with the bald head?
No, he was a little dude.
He was
Short.
fat.
Oh, I didn't know.
Short, dude,
So
non-stop talking shit. He was a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And it was like my brother. And
He was like everybody's brother.
we
Yeah.
talked so much
man,
shit.
So
Rest in
when I first met him, I didn't like. I saw his hands. He only had like a full index finger, a full pinky, and most of his thumbs, but the other 2 fingers were nubs.
From what, like a firework or something?
No,
He was just had a lot of deformities when he was born,
okay.
and so he went through a lot of surgery, skin grafting.
Okay, yeah.
He was a smart guy.
Smart,
he was
super smart guy.
Not much of a fighter, but he was smart.
So
But he
would
probably would have your back if you needed to.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
100%.
That's the people remember. Like, I would rather have a little dude in my corner who's down to fucking die with me than some big ass fool who don't know how to throw hands. You know
So
what I mean?
he would he had like a gun permit and everything. I'm like, how the fuck does this guy shoot?
He with no fingers.
So I was like, fuck. So I had
He was
to
no figure.
He's middle finger.
yeah. So I went. We went. I told Tank, I'm like, dude, we need to get a range day for this. So I want to see how this motherfucker shoots, you know. And so we ended up going to the range. We have
You're so stupid.
and we had a fun. That was a fun day, man.
That was fun.
And he died, huh?
Yeah, he passed away. He
Rest
had
in
a heart
peace,
attack.
man.
Rest in peace,
Damn.
Yogi. But that guy could spot a fake ID. I would walk up to the front and he'd be like, "Hey, Robert, what do you think about this ID?" I'd look at him like, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with it." And then he'd bend it and he'd fucking rip it apart. And then he'd be like, "This fake ID," and he'd give it back to the girl. The girl like had like the saddest look on her face because she just paid like $100 for it at MacArthur Park.
Yeah, exactly.
for that
At
ID.
Echo Park and shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he would do pat downs and always
Yeah.
smoking
And
sitting down in a fucking pot.
yeah, sitting on a flower pot that's in the front. He's always smoking cigarettes, and he was just a good dude. And so he had a prosthetic leg too, and so
Wait, what is it with you guys and people with prosthetic legs?
I don't know.
He had a
So how are
prosthetic
you?
leg.
Wait. Let's fucking take it back a minute. Hold on. So you guys had a dude with no fingers who was short,
I'm fat.
who had a prosthetic leg, and he was a bouncer.
Yes.
And he was fat.
Yes.
What the fuck?
And he did his job well.
Yes. That guy could spot a fake ID like it was nobody's business. He wasn't afraid to be an asshole.
He would remember people's faces.
Yeah.
Well, I saw you last month with fake ID. You can't come in.
See,
So he was good. And sometimes it was too good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was like too good, and then my cousin would get mad, like, "Hey, Yogi's not letting this person in." He's like, "Well, they don't have an ID, you know." And then he would he's the owner of the club. He's like, "Well, I said let him in." I said, "All right, cool." So then I would let him in. Yogi's like, "Well, he doesn't have an ID." He's like, "Well, the owner says let's let him. You know, it's his basically." So what most of the clubs around here in Oxnard do is that you have to have security for every 50 people. You have to have one security guard.
I know that. Yeah, I do know that. Yeah.
So what people do is they'll hire a company, and so they're gonna pay a company like say $30 an hour for that one dude, but they're gonna pay that one dude $11 an hour.
Yep.
So you're gonna have an $11 an hour security guard working there. So what I told my cousin to do, I said, "Hey, you pay the bond, start under the Ruby's promotions, start a security company." So he did, and I said, in the beginning, it'll cost more money, but in the long run, you're gonna save money. Plus, you're gonna get a higher security guard. Instead of getting a guy who's getting paid $11, pay a guy $16, $17, $18, $19, $20 an hour, and you're gonna get a more quality guy, and you're gonna save. You're still saving like $16 an hour,
Right.
so and then plus your capacity is way more, up to 1,000 people. So you have to have 20 security guards. What would that cost you if you're paying each one 30 something bucks an hour?
And you got to also trust who you work with. You
sure.
can't, if you hire, for some reason, Robert and I were like the narcs at Ruby's. We would see too many feet in a stall. And I remember fucking Robert just kick the door, go in there and find these guys, fucking petty count in the
Fucking
bathrooms.
powdering their noses
Yeah, and
with their long nails.
yeah, it was. We would always catch people doing that, and then take them and tell them, either you guys are doing some bad stuff in there, or so we kick them out.
You know what, though? I was really surprised being right in the middle of Oxnard, how well everybody's behaved. Like, you had those few people that did drugs in the bathroom, whatever, but they were not the majority. The majority of those people were hardworking people that worked all week long.
My parents hang out there,
Well,
fuckers.
check it out.
like the reality is, but
Remember
you're right.
we talked about cutting people off earlier?
Sure.
You just cut me off.
Spencer. Sorry, you fucker.
See how something so simple could start a fight?
Hey, I'm gonna cut you off every time, asshole. I know you're hey, of the podcast. You're my good homie in this podcast. All right, fucker. I'm gonna cut you off every time, asshole.
Now you're getting the head nod.
Spencer, all right, give you the head nod. What's up? I'll fight you. I'll bear wrestle you later, you asshole.
A wrestling match in the backyard after this.
Spencer. Sorry, yeah. You gotta talk in the mic, Neil, because people won't be able to hear you. Sorry, Maximo's out here. We don't have a fifth mic. We have 4 mics here. So,
but the people in Oxnard, they're all hardworking people. They work really hard, and they on the weekend they like to have fun, enjoy some entertainment, and maybe act like narcos for a night, but it costs them their whole week paycheck.
I like how you said act. All these fools are fajo pintados and the fucking boots with the curly tail.
With the pointy boots.
The pointy boots. I'm like, come on, bro. Like you fucking drive a Accord.
The
Stop
tribaleros.
Yeah, but you know what? Let me tell you though, they worked hard all week just so that they could do that on Saturday night.
Yeah.
You know what I
that's
mean?
true.
And it was always the younger crowd. The older crowd was more passive. They just want to go
My
dance.
parents hung out there, man.
And the younger crowd are the ones that would come in and do this shit and get drunk and they turn bulletproof. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. That liquid courage, right?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I remember at first it was kind of pretty dangerous. A lot of shit would go down, but through time people started saying because like Robert mentioned earlier, all the guys that we had were not just guy off the street. We wanted to make sure you can handle yourself physically and verbally.
Yeah.
You can't just fucking beat up someone just because,
Right.
Damn,
so we should have Andy here, man.
Oh,
So bad. We should have had him here.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if we'll do a
reunion?
Yeah.
We'll do a follow-up
A
podcast.
follow-up reunion with the bouncers.
And the cool thing is that every time there was a big old rumble or big fight, it was like, what the fuck's Robert? We always watch out for each other's backs,
Right.
So it's like if your brother's getting in a fight and you fuck vas pa allá, quick,
of course.
So I mean that was a cool thing about it because everybody had each other's backs.
Well, you become band of brothers. It's a whole
It
other level.
really was that. It really was that. It was interesting because that was how we looked at it, and we took care of each other, and then we made sure that we were all safe, and then we didn't like I didn't think about what I was running into if I saw I didn't like say like, oh well, maybe that looks dangerous, let me not run into that. No.
Yeah.
If I saw Tank getting into something, I was in
Yeah,
there.
that was the thing, with everybody.
And so we would try somebody new, and we would see that they wouldn't do that. That would be their last night.
Yeah, they're too fucking scared to fight.
I remember that guy Dalton. We called him Dalton.
Yeah, Dalton.
He was the only. We called him Dalton from Roadhouse, and only because he was the only. He was the only white guy that was working with us. Not, and it wasn't, and we weren't being racist, or it just so happened that all the guys that were getting hired were either Latino or African American. We weren't excluding. It just nobody was asking to work there.
No one wants to work in the hood here, bro.
Yeah. So we nobody was asking to work there, but this one kid did, and I think only because his girlfriend. His girlfriend
He
worked.
was going out with somebody that
breath.
worked at the club.
Yeah, he was dating.
Yeah.
He was dating one of the waitresses at the club, and she asked if we would give him a job, and we said sure. So we tried him out, and he didn't show up. He didn't show up to some of the situations that we had in the club. We're like, all right, you're done.
Interesting.
So we fired him.
So Ruby's was crazy, man. I would have figured that Ruby's would have had a like a gnarlier track record than say H2O, but it sounds like it didn't.
No, it didn't. And what's crazy is that we would like go out of our way to work with Oxnard PD to make sure that place, and also maybe because we were older, and we kind of realized like, hey, my job's not to fight people.
It's to stop shit from happening before it happens.
Yeah. And it's like my job's not to fight people. My job's not to be bouncers, not just to go there fight. No, to make sure everybody has a good time. Because ultimately, the customers are going to go there expecting to have a good time and safely. So I'd rather like if I can stop that fight without there being a fight, even better. If I don't have to put my hands on somebody, I'd rather not. Yeah. They would insult me like, oh, you're a fucking bitch, you're this and this and that. I said, okay, cool. I'm a bitch, I'm a pussy, whatever you say, I'm that. you know, but you can't come back in, you know.
And what's crazy is most people that are saying that shit, staring across the table from what I'm looking at right now. Like, if you say that to a man like that, you're a dummy. Unless you're a man like that.
A lot of stuff did happen.
Really?
A lot of stuff did happen at Ruby's. But it wasn't, you know, stabbings, but there was a lot of fights.
That place, man. What's crazy about that place is like I would call it like the paisano bar in this area.
Almost
right?
every
like,
weekend. Every weekend there was fights.
So
Yeah.
Once in a while we would get big old brawls.
Yeah, I think the worst brawl, and you'll remember this one. It was Mother's Day 2007. So there was baby daddy's there with his new girlfriend and her
2007?
friends. Yeah.
Jesus.
So baby daddy is there with his new girlfriend and her friends, and then baby mama is there with her friends. Ooh. So it's Mother's Day. So they're heightened feelings, heightened emotions,
trauma,
and then they see each other, and the next thing you know, there's like a
fucking cat fight,
10-on-10 cat fight. I mean, there was hair extensions, chonies, everywhere. Like all over the floor. Like remember we walked back inside.
Did you video it? Because we could sell that now online. I'm just saying.
And it was just a big fight, and it was like girls, all girls. And the minute we'd separate two, the next, you know, it was really difficult to.
It was just like wildfires. Everywhere.
So you stop one and another one popped up. Stop one
and
and
it was
really
it was really difficult to break up.
Hey, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna go ahead and say it, and we can get mad at me. But bitches be crazy.
So it was bad. It was
you know when they're angry. You know
there was and then there was like some like the job is crazy because there was other situations where like there'd be you'd have like that creeper at the bar, you know, and then
that's weird.
You have a girl that's really like really drunk, and then that guy
tried, you know,
take advantage of her and stuff.
Hey,
so
that's weird shit, man.
So
I'm
we
glad
would
you
always
brought that up.
There was a lot of that shit happened. A lot of girls.
I'm glad you brought that up.
A lot of girls would really get like just passing out like that.
And we'd have to go in there.
Because fools are like spiking their drinks and shit.
Either that, or they just
can't handle liquor or whatever.
Man, so when we were, not to cut you off, go ahead, finish off. And
no, I'm just saying, like, so we would make sure, like, I made it a point to tell the guys, like, hey, we got to keep an eye out for this stuff. You know what I mean? Because we don't want, the last thing we want is for some girl to get raped or whatever. You know what I mean? I mean, there are customers, you know, at the same time, but at the same time, we're men too, and we don't want to allow that shit to be going on. So
that's just not cool, man.
No, it's not at all.
It's weird because I've been thinking about that a lot, but I started really kind of looking back at my life, kind of from my young teenage years until now, right? And looking at all the times I kind of partied and whatever. And there are fucking dudes I could look back and go, that guy was kind of weird, man.
Yeah.
Kind of a creeper, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking creeper. Like, that shit exists, and it's weird, man, because, like, today everything's about, like, the Me Too movement and all that shit. And a lot of that is largely absolutely a real thing.
Yeah.
Some of it's kind of like, okay, stop it. Like, just because you see a white van at fucking Home Depot doesn't mean some guy's trying to fucking take you and fucking rape you. You know what I mean? Like, stop it. You know what I mean? Like there's a part of it. You know what I mean? That's like, that's real. There's a part that's not. But looking back, man, I could think of two people. I won't name them, but like, we're kind of weird with women. You know, like, oh, hey, fool, let's get her all hammered. And I'm like, what do you mean, bro? Like, I don't gotta get her hammered.
You can go to any bar and spot that one guy.
If I want to hook up with her, I definitely don't have to get her hammered for one. But like, I don't have to like. It just there's definitely some weird fools out there. So you guys saw that a lot in the club too.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Then you guys would probably tell these fools get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So what we do is we would tell the bartenders, if you saw somebody really hammered, just
Stop serving them.
Stop serving them. If somebody would get really fucked up, one of the security guards would stay with the girl until she got a ride by her friend or taxi.
Oh, that's
or whatever.
good. Yeah, that's good.
So we wouldn't leave her. We would take her and put her to the back.
Yeah.
And then give her water and stuff like that, paper towels or whatever. Because sometimes they would.
And then we had
throw up everywhere.
We had a female security guard. Shout out to Maria.
Oh yeah, Maria.
she was like
Maria security guard.
Oh yeah,
she was down. She was down.
She was down.
Oh yeah, she was like she was probably like in her 50s.
Okay,
yeah,
so
she was like an older Mexican lady.
Also, a question: was she a lesbian?
No. She had kids. She was a single
mom.
Because
I know some lesbians who are fucking tough as
well.
No, she was there to work.
She had money too.
Yeah.
No, tenía pegue with the.
Tenía pegue.
Yeah.
Oh, so she was hot. She was like a hot chick.
Yeah, She was all right. I mean, we should call her Maria la Trailera.
Yeah. She was
jump
tough.
in there.
Yeah.
She would jump in there.
She was
Really?
tough.
She was there to work.
See, that's dope. I respect the shit out of women.
So
like that.
Maria would help us, like, you know, if we had those situations where just so we had a female on board, you know what I mean? And then that way she would. And we tried other females and it just didn't work.
No,
We
it
had
was
one.
usually in the bathrooms where the girls would go and hide out and throw.
No, I'm
ones
saying
and
like
pass out.
in security wise.
Oh, yeah,
we tried
no.
we tried one other one and it was like, nah, you're cut, you're gone. But Maria, she was like on point.
So she was down for the brown side of town. She throw chingazos. She was.
Oh
like,
yeah, she
everything.
would jump in there.
Yep,
That's
everything.
dope.
She would jump
See,
in there.
man, women like that, I give them all the praise.
And
in the
she
world, you know?
and was cool was that she was like a tough lady, but and also she was a mom and a grandma.
She was a grandma.
She was a grandmother, and
Holy
she had
shit.
she took care of her autistic grandson, and she was like she's super great lady.
Yeah,
I mean,
nice lady.
Shout out to Maria.
yeah. Well, I mean, I probably
I don't know. Her last name.
I don't know her last name.
Well, shout out
La
to
trailera.
shout out to la trailera.
to Maria la Trailera. It just she was awesome lady. So she would like we would usually put her in charge of like the girls when they were too drunk, and she would always be like, "Ay, mija," and then she'd like clean them up and take care of them.
Oh, so she was even motherly too.
Yeah, yeah. So she was motherly, but then she'll punch you in the mouth.
See,
You know
we
what I
need
mean?
man, we need women like that in this
So,
world, man. We need
she
more of
was
those kind of
awesome.
women, you know.
Yeah.
Like
So so Maria would always we would do that, or one of us would take her, but we would rather her do it just so that they wouldn't.
Just for liability wise, so I don't say, "Oh, you grandma."
Right, yeah,
or
yeah.
something, you know.
yeah. It's kind of like when cops, when there's a woman, they got to pat down like how a female cop.
Yeah.
Just gonna pat them down, which is kind of weird because to be honest, like if I was a dude and they're like, "Hey, bro, we gotta call the gay cop to come pat you down," I'm gonna be like, "Bro, come on, man, you know, like why you gotta do that for? You know, just fucking, it's cool, man. Pat me down. If you're not gay, it's cool."
Yeah, it's just
Just saying, you know what I mean? Just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Kind of weird, but I'm just saying. It's kind of weird that women think like just because it's another woman, especially in 2021, like that woman. A lot of female cops, let's be honest, some of them are butchy kind of women. So like, the ones I know are, and so like. If you're a woman, you're like, I don't want to deal with the guy patting me down. Just get another woman over here.
well.
Like, all right, cool.
The only time that happens is if it's an exigent circumstance. When sorry, I'm using the big word again.
Yeah, that was way too many syllables.
So so no, one of those circumstances where there's no females available and they have to do what's called a cursory search, and that's they just search for weapons. They're not doing like the full thorough search, just the
Yeah,
you know,
we
the
couldn't touch
waistband.
them.
So we wouldn't touch them at all.
Open their purses like if you had her for drugs or whatever.
Yeah, and usually they would carry the knives for their boyfriends and
Like guns and shit like that
yeah,
too.
yeah. It was
They
it was
be
gnarly.
packing.
And then we had to at one point we were making them take their cowboy boots off. We would catch all kinds of stuff.
It makes you the
and
boots
belts,
off?
and belts.
And the belts too.
Belts or knives.
Yeah,
buckles.
Well, because belts have knives in them. Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. For a while, we got guys buying these belt buckles, but they were knives.
Yeah.
So
Pinche
we would have to
fajopitos.
check them. Yeah, I remember Yogi used to
Yeah.
check
He was
fucking
good.
cap, the rims, everything, the fucking hats and the fucking pockets.
But he'd be all into it.
Yeah,
huh?
Like,
he
he
knew
had
everything.
missing fingers, but he just
He was
you
searching.
know.
Hey, those would get
Yeah.
into little cracks and crevices. You
This
know?
guy was searching for contraband, not just weapons, anything.
Hey, he was serious
He
about
was
his job.
serious.
you
He
know?
had a table behind him. It was like covered with knives, like crazy
up.
lighters and
Yeah.
shit like that, weapons. It was pretty funny.
I wish I met that dude, man. Rest in
Oh,
peace.
he was funny.
Rest in
And
peace to that guy, man.
going back to Yogi
Good
real
dude.
quick. So I used to feel bad for him, you know, because of his fingers and his prosthetic leg
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And he was fat, you know. So I wouldn't make fun of him. And so because I didn't make fun of him, he saw me as a target. Because I was the only one, and I'd be like, "Man, fucking Tank's an asshole. He
So
keeps
he's
on
gonna
making
make
fun
fun
of
of
Yogi, dude." I fell asleep in the front, and he fucking took a picture of me, and he fucking posted, like he telling everybody and like showing it to everybody, and like this, I'm like, "All right, motherfucker, that's
Archer,
it."
remember Archer?
Yeah.
Archer worked with us too.
Yeah, Archer was another
That's
one.
fucking funny. Oh, Archer.
Anthony.
Anthony
Archer.
Archer.
So
Archer,
I
yeah.
gave him some masks and stuff.
Yeah,
I'll have to tag
he
him
was
on the
another one that
podcast,
worked
too.
that worked with us.
He's a big kid. He's
Yeah.
younger than us.
Yeah, he's younger. I was his football coach at Santa Barbara High
Oh,
School.
really?
Yeah.
Okay, so
So-
yeah. Anyways,
good
cool
dude.
guy, man. I don't know him personally that well, but when shit happened with this, he works at a rest home, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Man, can you come with some masks and stuff?" I never sent him. I'm like, "Yeah, man, I hooked up with a bunch of masks."
Yeah, he's a great guy.
yeah.
Great guy.
He seems like a really good guy.
He's-
for
yeah,
sure.
I've known him for
He's a
lots
big
of
kid.
years. Yeah,
He's a big dude.
I known him for lots of years, and good dude. That's why I brought him on board. You know what I mean? So Archer was another one.
Small
that we-
world, man.
Oh yeah, but so I said, all right, fucker, that's it. fucking holding back on you, oh Yogi. I'm not gonna feel bad for you. But that's what he wanted. He didn't
want to feel like you were treating him special.
Yeah.
Of course.
So and so he was like that, and he would talk shit to us, and we would talk shit to him, and if I would call him up, Yogi, I need you to work tonight. Bam, he was there.
Yeah.
He lived in L.A.
He did lived in L.A.
Oh, really?
He would commute from L.A. to work with us in Oxnard.
You guys gave him a purpose, and that's pretty fucking cool, man.
And so he would come up, and anything. I'd be like, Yogi, we're gonna go to the gun show. Bam, and he would come up to Ventura to go to the gun show. He would drive 3 hours to come up to. I mean, there's probably better gun shows where he's at, because he was he was
Yeah.
I don't know. I forget what.
like Southgate or something like. He was like far.
Yeah, I mean, he lives close by to his. It's a big gun store. It's indoor range.
Out there.
Yeah,
It's pretty big.
he had no reason to come over here, but because he wanted to come with us, we go to the gun show right here in Ventura.
You got to.
By the way, when we're doing this podcast, I have an AR-15 we're gonna build out here, just because I'm tired of all the bullshit and the stories we're hearing. I seriously have parts out here. No, I'm not kidding. That's what we're gonna do when we're done.
No,
Okay.
You guys, we are.
don't say that.
AR Pelican.
No, I have multiple AR-15s, but we're gonna build one here. I have the parts to build an actual real one.
Your grandpa Biden is listening.
Well, I'm over fucking that whole bullshit. Yeah, all of a sudden, Corona is like, okay, let's take off the topic a little bit, right? All of a sudden, the Corona's not scary anymore. Now it's googly boogly gunman. And like literally every story across my feed lately has been about guns and multiple shootings, and this shooting happened here, this shooting happened there. Literally, as soon as Corona wasn't scary, now it's all guns. People stop the bullshit, man. Please, seriously. So we are gonna build an AR-15 when we're done here.
Okay,
Just letting you guys know that right now. That's what we're gonna do. I'm not kidding. All right, you guys, and you better
I don't have AR-15s. I've never built one.
I don't have
Okay.
any guns. I don't have
So
any guns.
we're gonna build one, and we're gonna give it to a Boy Scout.
What are those?
What are those?
But so you guys better call your viejas and say you need another extra hour, because it's gonna take us about an hour to put it together. You know what I mean?
Takes who an hour to put it
All
together?
right. Moving on.
But yeah, he was a good dude, and he would be down for whatever.
Tell the
So-
sniper story.
Yes.
Hey, who's a sniper?
Tell the sniper story.
You want me to tell it?
Yeah, you
All
tell
right.
it.
So at the end of the night, sometimes
Mario doesn't want me to tell it.
Yeah,
He was like, I got this one. He's like, I got this one,
Well,
dude.
he was the main part of the.
dude, it was one of those fucking nights when this shit happened that you're laughing but nothing's coming out.
So we're
That's how much
You're laughing so hard, but nothing's
Yeah.
coming out.
Okay, so we're it's the end of the
just so
night.
you know, like Tank, Yogi, and I were always the first ones there and the last ones to leave.
So Yogi was the homie there.
Yeah, we were the first ones there
Man,
and the
rest in
last
peace
ones
to
to
that
leave.
dude. I'm bummed I never got to meet him. Rest in peace to that dude.
Yeah, he's super cool guy.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're at another night, and he was always smoking too. So he's outside smoking
Cigarettes
Yeah.
or weed?
So
No,
cigarettes.
cigarettes.
So we're leaving, right? And we're crossing the street, and
Oxnard Boulevard.
He had a prosthetic leg on. So I'm walking behind him, and Robert's walking across the street, and there were some other people waiting for us at the parking lot, and he fucking falls.
in the middle of the street.
middle
On
of
the
the
center
fucking street.
Did
divider.
his leg fall off?
Yeah, it just kind of shattered or broke or something happened to his leg. He fell.
Oh,
So
somebody
right away,
rescued him?
I started yelling, "Sniper, sniper!" You know.
So then Tank gets on the radio, goes, "Man down, sniper on the rooftop of La Gloria." You know, so we were fucking dying laughing.
But it just happened so quick like that. It was like, we
So
responded.
did you guys help him up?
So this is where it gets crazy.
You
right?
guys are dicks. You
No.
didn't run out to help him up?
No, we did. But
we were laughing.
We were laughing
first. We were
first. We were laughing
laughing our asses off.
because he kind of gets up and he's hobbling around and his leg is just dangling, right? And it's moving around, and so it's dangling, and we're kind of like Yogi, like what's he's like I can't reconnect my leg. He says so then he tells Tank, go get my crutches from my truck. Because he didn't want us to help him, like carry him or nothing like that.
He's like, no, I got
And
it.
then so then Tank runs to the truck.
PD shows up.
So Oxnard PD shows up, and they see him standing in the middle of Oxnard Boulevard, and they're like, "What's going on?" And then I'm like, "Oh, his leg fell off, and he's right there. He's getting the crutches right now."
Did you at least tell him that he was one of you, like the bouncer?
Yeah, he saw the security shirt. So then he
You're
goes,
like,
"All right,
hey,
cool."
fuck that fool. His leg fell off. Get him.
So then Oxnard PD goes and he turns his car side like perpendicular to the street to block off Oxnard Boulevard so that he doesn't get hit. And the lights are on, right? Well, from the opposite direction, another Oxnard unit sees that the lights are on and this guy's blocking the street and he's hauling ass over. comes in like almost like in a movie, like, you know, sideways, side burning, you know, whatever, and he comes over, he's like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, this guy has a fake leg and I fell off, and then, you know, we're just blocking the road. So then he goes, okay. So then now this guy turns and blocks the street the other way so that nobody comes from the other side.
It just snowballed.
And
got
the lights
bigger,
are on.
bigger.
So everybody was like, he's out there looking, and Yogi's so embarrassed. He's like, God damn it, fuck. He's like all pissed off. And then I'm like, Yogi, wait, hold on. Before you grab your crutches, let me take a video of your leg. And then he goes, fuck you, Robert, fuck you. He was so mad. He was just like,
It just happened so quick.
It was the
fell
last
off.
thing he wanted was attention, and you guys put a spotlight on him from both fucking north and southbound.
But he loved it.
Yeah, he loved it.
He loved it.
Fuck, man, I wish I would have met that guy.
He was
dude.
he tells me, he's like, hey, were you here for that? I said, yeah, I was there.
That was one of the funny moments with him.
I wish I would have met that fucking. He sounds like a good guy, dude.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He was a great guy.
Yeah.
And then Alex gets back from Afghanistan, and so then
I can't believe. But first of all, let's take a step back.
what?
Out of all the homies I grew up with and I hung out with and kicked rocks with and been in trouble with, and this is the last motherfucker I would have thought would have ended up in Afghanistan. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
Fucking so people don't know. So Alex is my good homie. Like kick rocks. Like he's one of my ribs. You know what I mean? He's a homie. I love you. You know what I mean? You know that.
Yeah.
And so, but of all the homies that I know that I grew up with, this is the last fool that I thought would have ended up in Afghanistan. Really, legitly. And I want to say thank you. That's fucking awesome. I'm sure it was tough and difficult and all those things that come along with being in the military and having to go overseas. But I'm still shocked that Alex was in Afghanistan. That's fucking crazy, man. Come on, bro.
Yeah, yes and no, because
Shut the front door.
Robert knows. I mean, maybe 3 blocks from where you lived on Bond Avenue,
Right.
me and Robert were digging foxholes when we were 8 and 5.
Sure.
You know, we were playing war before.
But I didn't think of you like that, though.
Yeah.
But
And
this was. Can I say it without you getting mad?
go
Okay.
ahead.
So I call him. This is dirt to me. This is tierra, right? This is my dirt, right? This is like, and that's the whole story behind that. We'll talk about in another podcast. But we call dirt. This is the homie, right? Like this is my dog growing up, and I just didn't. It was mind blowing. But I think after we lost our homie,
Yeah.
all of our minds changed.
Yeah.
And the next thing I know, this fool's in Afghanistan. So we lose a good friend who you lived with.
Yeah. Well, I was sitting at his funeral and I was looking around and I'm looking at all you guys, all my friends, and everybody's bummed out and you know, I'm thinking of his life and how much the guy shined.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
He was just one of those beings that just outshined people around him.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Manny.
But the crazy thing about Manny though is when you walked in the room and he saw you, he made you feel like you were the fucking shiniest person in the room.
Right.
That's
That's what
his
made
gift.
him shine.
Yeah.
That was his gift. Yeah.
The fact that he made everyone else in the room feel special.
He constantly did for everybody and nobody did for him.
Yeah.
And that was tough for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He constantly gave himself to everybody. And everybody would give back to him in the sense of, oh, Manny, and blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't legit.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was hard on his soul, too. Like I'm giving everything I have to everybody all the time. But anyways, rest in peace to the homie Manny, man. Fucking love him, miss him daily. The DMX thing that just happened recently reminded me of him, put me in a dark place for a second. Because DMX, we had a song for the homies back in the day. You remember that
Where
song?
my dog's at.
Where my dog's at. And so, but anyways, back to you though. Just right back on you. I love you. I fucking care about you. You know, I've known you. We're dogs since we were kids.
Yeah.
But to think that you ended up in Afghanistan to me was mind blowing. I remember because I went to Orlando for a while. I came back. I'm in Orlando for a year or so. I came back. Then we started all hanging out again or whatever.
Right.
And then Manny dies. And then next thing I know, this fool's like, I'm in the military now. And you were like 30 already.
No, I was not 30.
You were like 28 or 29.
I was 26.
You were not
No,
26.
you're not.
I was
You're
26.
older.
Manny died when he was 28. You were older than Manny.
You were
You're
30,
way
dude.
off in years. You were 30, asshole. You were like 30 years old when you joined the military.
No,
Yeah.
it was in 2008.
Manny died at 20. Actually, Manny died at 29. I was 28. You were 30.
No, I couldn't have been 30.
You were 30 years old and you're up in Afghanistan. That's the whole reason.
Shut up, Bobby.
Yes, you enlisted at like 29 and you're in Afghanistan at 30, which I remember thinking to myself, like, because I was still in a really rough space because everything that was happening with Manny. Yeah. But I remember thinking to myself, like, this motherfucker really enlisted. And not just enlisted, but he's in Afghanistan. And I'm getting pictures like, this motherfucker's really in Afghanistan. Like, what the fuck? I was mind blown.
In the infantry.
Yeah.
Well, so I was sitting there and I was like, you know, that's it for him. You know, his book is
closed.
That's it. Final page written. And then I looked inward and I said, well, you know, I'm still alive.
I gotta pour a drink for this one, man.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
I said, I'm still alive. I'm going to go back and do all the shit I wanted to do since I was a kid that for one reason or another, I let somebody talk me out of, or, you know, maybe persuaded me to go a different path. Right. But I always knew what I wanted for myself. And joining the military was always one of those things. But, you know, I always heard my parents call my brother dumb and stupid for joining the military. So I was like, man.
But it's in your family, though. Your whole family's military.
I know. That's the crazy thing. Yeah. But when I did it, it was dumb.
Yeah. When I did it, everybody was all, good luck, you know, like.
Yeah. Good job.
Good job.
Yeah.
What's crazy, though, because your whole family's military. Yeah. Like, all the way back, like, generations.
Yeah. My grandfather was in World War II, Pearl Harbor.
One of my uncles, I just found out, was some of the first D-Day people that ended up, and there's a whole book written about him I didn't even know about. This is my uncle.
Yeah.
It's my great uncle. It's my grandmother's brother.
Yeah.
And I didn't know all this shit. And it's crazy, man, to look back. That was the last great generation.
Yeah.
So just to kind of suck you both off for a second, I am genuinely proud to say that I have friends that like your family, by the way, like people don't realize your family has done their civic duty to this country. And there's a lot of people in this world who don't do their civic duty. And I'm so tired of people complaining about what America's like and how America's bad and how all these bad things about society and blah, 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 blah. And none of them have given anything back to society in any way, shape, or form. So to you two and your family, I am proud to say that you're my friends and that I've known you guys as good, what I would call brothers in my life for many years now, you know? So thank you guys. It's fucking awesome that you guys did this, and people will never, most people don't understand the sacrifices you guys have made, and you're still making. You're still in the National Guard.
Yeah, still.
Right? I mean, you were in LA during the riots and shit. Yeah. Not with the riots, but the George Floyd.
The whatever.
What would you call it? Uprising.
Yeah. It wasn't much.
It wasn't much.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that like families like yours are what America is about. And we forget how important those are. I mean, if you look back in your generations, I've seen the stuff you guys post about your generations. I'm like, man, this family's fucking done everything. Like, there's not much more this family can do for America. You know what I mean? Like, this is the Gutierrez's are like a Captain America family. So all I'm saying is, thank you guys, man.
Yeah, the Figueroas.
The Figueroas. Figueroas. Yeah, it's your mom's side, right?
Yeah, my mom's side.
Yeah, Connie Figueroa.
Yeah.
I'd like to send a shout out to the guys in 5th Brigade. 2-1 Infantry Division.
Oh yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, that's
and Afghanistan, Dirt. Come on, Dirt. You're my homie, and I'm still like talking to you right now in front of you. Like, Dirt, really? Afghanistan, really?
I was in Kandahar of all places.
Kandahar was just a horrible place. And then with 5th Brigade.
And an infantryman. He's in the infantry. He's like fucking out there in the middle of the fucking.
You have one job.
Desert. Yeah.
Yeah. There's two types of jobs in the military. There's grunts and there's pogues, and so. You know, you have to be a grunt. You got to be on the football field.
You were a
can't
grunt,
be on the
right?
sideline.
Yeah, I was a grunt.
That's crazy, and it's mind blowing to me. Not to say that Alex was ever soft or anything like that. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is Alex was the nice guy. He was the suave guy, the boxer. You know, he boxed. You know what I mean? He was the fucking De La Hoya of us. You know what I mean? Like, he was that nice fucking dude. And I will never. And I do feel bad because I feel like when you went there, I wasn't there for you. But I was struggling my own self with my own situation.
Everybody was at that time.
Yeah, I was struggling, and I was like, man. And I remember like a year later going, fuck, my fucking good friend is in Afghanistan. Thinking in my mind like, fuck, how can I help this dude? And by that time, you were already gone. I had no way to find you.
I
didn't even know.
Already heading back to Fort Lewis, Washington.
And he comes back. I'm like, Dirt, you're in fucking Afghanistan. What the fuck? You know? So anyways, man, it's awesome.
The brigade I was in actually made world news
A couple times.
for a
I'm sure.
few instances.
Yeah, really bad ones.
Yeah. Really bad and really good. There's things that you guys didn't hear about what we did there. Like, we were the first troops into the Arghandab Valley.
That's a huge fucking valley. That's on TV all the time.
It's nicknamed the Valley of Hell.
Yes.
We took over that, and then we handed it over to, I think it was 101st Airborne, but before us there was nobody. And then where we were at was in Maywand, which is right next to Helmand.
Helmand province is insane.
So Helmand was where the Marine Corps was.
That's Restrepo, right?
No.
I thought Restrepo was in Helmand province.
Helmand.
The movie Restrepo, for people who don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. No. Helmand is at the border of Pakistan and at the border of Kandahar.
That's where
the two provinces.
That's where Bin
butt up
Laden
together.
crossed over into Pakistan. Okay, yes.
So Highway 1 is what they call it. It's one highway that goes through Kandahar, but it takes you all the way to like where Helmand is, and that's where Camp Leatherneck was. That's where all the Marine Corps.
Leatherneck is in Helmand. Okay, that's right. I know
Camp
Yes.
Camp Leatherneck was a huge base. They had their own airport.
They had their own green zone and all that shit.
They had their own airport. It was huge.
But they had a fight to make that happen, though.
Oh yeah,
That wasn't an easy fight to make. Leatherneck was an easy thing to make happen.
No. They definitely had a fight to get it to establish it in the first place. We had shithole fobs, tiny little, makeshift forts, that we made out of Hescos and.
So Hescos, just so you know what they are, they're like boxes that are lined with chain link on the outside
and burlap,
and then you fill them up with sand.
So the chain link is in case someone touches it.
No, just to hold the box to hold the cardboard together.
So when you fill it up with sand, it's literally like a huge sandbag.
Gotcha.
But in a box form.
But you can sleep inside of it and all that.
No, it's you just fill it. It's like a wall.
It's a wall. You're creating a wall.
You're creating a wall.
I know what that is. So I've seen those when I watch Restrepo. Those are those big
exactly.
things
Yes.
because
The
they fill it
boxes.
with sand. Basically, it's basically that's to stop rounds,
Right.
And shrapnel, pretty
Right.
much. Yeah.
Which I could tell you, you can have a whole podcast on that because, I mean, there was a mortar that hit maybe about 30 feet or 40 feet away from me, which picked me up and threw me like a rag doll, like I was nothing, like I weighed 0 pounds. It just threw me up against a Hesco. And another guy who's 6'4", 225 pounds maybe, kid named Mark Frazier, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
It threw both of us up against this wall, and then we were headed to the gym, the little makeshift gym that they had there.
Yeah.
And I get up, and first thing I'm doing is counting fingers, like all my fingers here, all my toes. I got all my limbs. Once I realized I was okay, I look over at my friend Mark, and he's getting up, and nothing happened. We were inside the kill zone of a mortar.
Right.
Like, everything should have been dead.
Well, yeah. I mean, nothing. I mean, something happened.
No,
you were
nothing
there.
happened.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, your brain has to consume that, right? Like you were in that moment. Like, I wouldn't say nothing happened because nothing. You didn't die from it. You didn't have physical wounds from it, but that shit's still in your brain. Like it's some shit you don't get away from. It's like kind of like situations you and I have been in that we won't talk about in this podcast where it's fucking gnarly.
Yeah.
Like, sure, I didn't die that night, but it's in my fucking mind for the rest of my life.
Right.
And it's some shit I can't erase. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? So that's insane, man.
I get what you're saying in that sense, yes.
Yeah, you know what I
but
mean?
I mean, for the most part, so many crazy things happen where like your life could be gone in any second.
Right.
at so many seconds per day, like it just becomes you're there. You know what I mean? Like you're just constantly to the highest. It's
You're living, man. That's called living. Like when you're when you even you guys when you were bouncing, for instance, when the moments when you're excited, adrenaline's pumping, and you're doing some shit.
we just talked.
It's the same shit. Like you're in that moment. Like and you become brothers at that point. Like the people you were with, you instantly became family to them.
Oh, absolutely.
When you guys were doing your bouncer thing, you instantly became family, right? Like I have your back, you have my back, and I know that. And no matter what,
Well,
that's going to be a thing.
listen to this. So, the first time I realized, well, not I didn't. It wasn't the first time I realized, but the first time I experienced something like that working at the sheriff's department, somebody questioned whether or not I would do my job. And I said, where I come from, you don't question that. You just know the person next to you is going to do their job. They're going to do the job to the best of their ability to make sure you don't die, not themselves.
Right.
You don't worry about you first. You worry about the people around you first.
Right.
And an incident happened at the sheriff's department, and they said, why didn't you get involved? I said, well, I didn't know. And they said, well, where were you? I said, I was getting a soda from the soda machine. There's no way I could have heard you down 2 halls and through 2 doors.
That's your big ass foot over here, Robert?
Yeah, sorry.
Your brother's got big ass foot in my crotch over here. Fucking sorry.
You
I'm
like
listening.
Playing footsies.
So,
Stop being gay, bro.
so,
I'm gonna get canceled now.
Oh
Sorry.
my God.
Stop. Go ahead.
so check it out. This sergeant tells me, like, well, you know, go to my office. And by that time I go to the office and I'm in there and I'm already thinking, you know what? Fuck this. You know, if they don't want me here, like I don't want to be here.
Right.
They're lucky if they can have me.
Right.
And
you've been in Afghanistan already.
yeah. Oh, you think I'm afraid of, not to be sexist, but do you think I'm gonna be afraid of some girl who's getting froggy?
Right.
Like, no, dude. Like, I don't care if it's a guy, like, or a Martian. I don't care.
Right.
So they start yelling at me, and I started yelling back, and then they were like, oh, all of a sudden, like, it's a big deal because I'm yelling back at them and cursing back at them. Well, I told them I'm not a fucking inmate.
Right.
I said, I don't need to put up with your bullshit. And they said, okay, let's tone it down. Let's take it back a notch. All of a sudden, they want to scale it back down.
Right.
So then they said, they heard what I had to say. They said, okay, that could possibly be true, but we're going to check the video. I said, you know what? Go ahead, check the fucking video. You know what I mean? Later on, I go eat and everybody alienates themselves away from me because they heard a situation was possibly happening. The sergeant that accused me had then come over at lunchtime and apologized because she checked the video. I said, the fact that you checked the video is the fucking problem. Right. I said, where I come from,
You gotta trust me.
Where I come from, you trust the person next to you with their life,
Right.
with your life. And it's a mindset that I don't think they can grasp. As much as they want to call themselves a paramilitary, what would you call it? Organization. As much as they want to call themselves a paramilitary organization, they're not.
Yeah.
Everybody there looks out for themselves.
You want to know what's crazy though? Is that you're saying this now, and I feel your passion behind it. But here's the crazy thing: you and I, and Manny and Jacob, when we were kids, our lives were on the line many times, and we never questioned each other ever once.
Right.
We never questioned each other once. Like I would. There was many a times where I should have lost my life, and I would have lost it for them, and you, us is what I'll call it, and never questioned it.
Right.
And none of them ever questioned me.
Right.
It's
something that was understood.
Yes,
if you go out together, you come home together.
And I'm just talking about in the streets. I'm not talking about military shit. Like military shit is a whole different thing. I'm talking like us as kids.
It was the same concept.
It's the same concept.
It's the same concept.
It's brotherhoods. Like we had a brotherhood. We grew up as brothers, and I understand that. And what's crazy is I tell people, like, if I were to die today, man, and you know this, Alex, I went through so much crazy shit from the party we talked about earlier. And that's just like a fucking percentage of 1 point of the crazy shit that I was involved in. Yeah. To my years now at 41 years old, I look back and go, if I were to die today, man, fuck. At least I lived a good ride. Yeah, I had a good ride, and I knew that back then. Even back then in our 20s when we were going through this, Alex, I knew back then that like fucking.
These were the days.
We lived a wild time, bro. Yeah. You know, and I often tell people that I'm not a religious person by any means, but I do believe in prayer. Because I know that prayer activates something in the brain, that yoga and all that stuff. It's all the same thing. It releases a chemical in the brain. It makes people feel good. And I know that prayer is something that connects people in a weird, it's a scientific thing that we know. And I often pray. And when I think about that, I say, man, thanks for getting me to this point, because I probably should not be alive. You know? And that's me. This is you in Afghanistan, and you and you, in the National Guard and all this other shit, and the sheriffs, and like, I mean, to me, it's like people are like, oh, you have no idea. The stories, like, we all come from crazy ass stories, like legit crazy stories, man.
But the thing is that we've always been in it. That's how it's been for us since we were going back to being in the Boy Scouts.
Organized chaos.
Being in the Boy Scouts and doing like the crazy shit that we did in the Boy Scouts, and doing like
I was a Boy Scout too.
That was no, and it was a great experience. It was freaking awesome. Yeah. I kind of hate that it's been demonized, because it was a great experience, and it was I got a lot out of it, and then playing football at Santa Barbara High School. That was a big deal.
Well, you think of the mentors that we've had.
They were all military guys.
Well, not necessarily. Look at Coach Garcia.
Coach Garcia was in the military.
He was in the military, right?
Yeah, he was in the Army.
War Record was in the military. What about rest in peace? I'm sorry,
Coach Robledo.
Coach Robledo,
was he military?
I think he did a stint in the Army. I think he did a little bit.
But I know the two ones that I can think of is Lito and War Record. They were in the military.
Yeah.
And they trained you like they were in the military.
Yeah, they definitely added that element.
I sucked at football, and they still beat the shit out of me every day. You know what I mean?
Like back in the day with Lito, the way he used to coach. And he will let you know if you fucked up on the field or practice or whatever. Yeah. And like nowadays, you can't yell at a kid in the field. A coach can't
yell at a kid
because he'll get offended or get his feelings hurt or some shit.
Because
I heard that worker got in trouble for
Fucking
Swato was how he made funny for trying to be a cholo.
Yeah, that's when he turned his hat sideways and his glasses all crooked.
It's like you fucking
Swato. When he fucking hit you with his clipboard with a helmet, just like,
hey, I heard that worker got in trouble. I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard this years ago. That worker got in trouble before the whole fucking stupid like PC movie came around for hitting a kid's helmet with his whistle. That somebody complained that he got in trouble for that. I don't know if that's true.
I don't remember hearing that.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that.
Because that's what he would do to me to keep me in line. And I'm like, thank you, Coach Worker. Like, I think when that man dies, there'll be a million fucking people at his
definitely.
Definitely. He's definitely had an impact on lots of.
He's had an impact on a lot of people. Throughout the history,
Lito too, right? When Lito dies, all of us will be there, being like, "Hey, man, Lito."
I still talk to him all the time. I still talk to him all the time, and every once in a while we'll get him to go to lunch or something. And
he won't remember me, but you tell him that he remembers my Uncle John because he gave my John's keys.
Your Uncle John's
and
a legend.
You know what? Lito used to. Uncle John is a legend, man. I love you, John. We got. By the way, we're working on a podcast with you, Uncle John, and DJ Molina.
Oh man,
that's the next one.
Yeah.
So we're working on that.
That's a lot of beef too.
That's gonna be the next one. We have a lot to talk about. So, but Lito gave me a lot of love and respect because of my uncle.
Yeah.
And he's like, this kid ain't a football player, but he's got heart. I'm gonna have him here. You know what I mean? Like he was just a different person, man.
Yeah.
So like and even going to a different thing. While Alex was in Afghanistan, we
Smack his arm again because we heard it on the mic.
a thing came up. We had an alumni game come up, right? We had a chance to play San Marcos. So Maximo here was like 2 years old, and
I can remember he used to go to practice with us.
Yeah, he was 2.
You used to carry me on your back.
Yeah.
And so we were we had an opportunity to play again. So I was like, bam, opportunity to put on the gold helmet one more time, $300. That's a deal. Fuck, boom, pay the $300. Let's do this. So I started training, and started doing like strongman stuff. And then I had like a sled. I had a couple things, and then Tank goes, "Hey, I could train with you." And then I'm like, "Fuck yeah, come on, let's go." So then Tank started training with me. So then we'd have our kids out there on the field, and we started training. And then I would like, "Oh man, I wonder if I could do this and that. Like, I wish I could do this." And back then it was a lot harder to get equipment, because there wasn't that many companies. Now there's tons of companies, and you can get like, you go anything, and you get like Titan Fitness stuff for free shipping, and it's cheap. You know what I mean, and shit like that. Like, you know, obviously if you want the better stuff, you get the Rogue and stuff like that, or whatever. But you can get it. Back then that didn't exist. So then I told Tank's like, well, maybe I can. He made the first contraption. I don't know what he did. I think he made a prowler. So he made a prowler, and then he goes like, I know I'm a welder. So then I'm like, oh shit,
You're a welder?
Well, I've worked for the county, but
okay.
At our shop, through my years, I've learned how to do everything, and welding is just one of the things I picked up, and I love doing it. You know, just fabricating machinery and stuff like that for other, you know, for companies or whatever. And then I didn't know powerlifting, strength training. I did lifting like at the high school, like everybody else. So Robert kind of introduced me into strongman and powerlifting. So he asked me if I could make this, and I'll make that, and I'll look at a picture of whatever.
I'd send him a picture of them. Like, here, can you make this?
Yeah.
I'd send him a picture, and then next thing he
would weld it?
Yeah, he would come with it, and I'd be like, oh shit. So we had a prowler sled, we had a drag sled,
got a couple kegs
that we throw and lift over our heads and stuff like that.
Like to carry shit like
yeah,
this.
So,
like CrossFit shit.
No, this was just like more strongman stuff.
So CrossFit is kind of like strongman diet.
CrossFit is more like endurance. It's total things. It's not just strength. It's an endurance. It's a lot of it's even knowing how to do the exercises. Like try walking on your hands. You know what I mean? Do a handstand walk, shit like that. So
stupid. It's like vegetarians for working out. You
know,
know,
it's
hard. I know it's extremely difficult to do. I get it. It's fucking hard, but it's like, come on, I could throw a bag around 5 times around my head, and it's gonna be hard. Like what I'm saying is that like what you guys were doing is something different than like CrossFit is an organization. It's a business that found a way to make money, and I believe genuinely in my heart that like people. I've seen young women, for instance, who are like in their 20s. Like, I'm going to do CrossFit. And then they just wreck their bodies. I'm like, you're not a professional athlete. You don't have to do that to look good.
Well, your goal is to look good. The thing is that some people get a little rambunctious, and they think they can do like they go all out every day.
Like why do you have to box jump?
Even the professional, like the guys like the top level, they won't do like the quote unquote WODs every day. Right. They'll work, you know, so all right, today we're going to work on my clean and snatch. And
so why does a chick who works at Target have to do a fucking 45-inch box jump? So it's stupid. What I'm saying is that workout is not, if you want to get fit and you're a female or you're a male and you're concerned about getting in shape, like that workout is probably like, it's literally designed for like elite athletes. You know what I mean?
Sometimes
kind of silly.
So the idea behind I don't participate. I have, because at the gym that I used to belong to, CrossFit was on the outside, and then it was powerlifting on the inside. And so we would always like laugh.
It was that Fisher strength.
Yeah, Fisher strength and health. Okay. And so we would laugh at each other. Like we would they'd always go like stay tight, like yell that, because we always say like come on tight, because you have to get tight when you have 600-700 pounds on your back.
Sure.
Or you're holding up, you know, so much weight that there's so much pressure in your nasal cavity that you feel like you're 20 feet underwater. You know what I mean? So they would always make fun of us, and then we'd always like make fun of them, like, you know, with their stuff and everything. So it was the equal respect. And then every once in a while, I would go outside and I would do a WOD with them, and they would be like, they would kick my ass because I wasn't
You weren't conditioned for.
I wasn't conditioned for that.
It's cardio. It's full workout cardio is what it sounds like.
High intensity cardio.
Yeah, high intensity cardio.
So you do a bunch of little circuit things without stopping, and that's CrossFit. Strongman or powerlifting is more static strength.
Yeah.
Right. What I think of it like is have those dudes do what you were doing. Then
they would. So eventually the guys that were like the better CrossFitters on the outside, they would come in and work out like a bench press and learn the proper bench press, and then or come out and do a squat, learn the proper squat or deadlift, like sharpen up their deadlift form. And so we would swap back and forth.
I get that, but who needs CrossFit?
Well, I wouldn't knock any working out.
Yeah.
Okay, granted, I get that. What I'm saying is that I now know 3 women personally who have jumped into CrossFit and now have like knee replacements. Like one had knee replacement because of it. One had issues with her shoulder, and another one had issues with her back. And it wasn't like your typical back problems. It was something gnarly, like where she had to have surgery and shit like that. And I was like, dude, you're 135 pounds. Like the fact that you're doing this workout to be in shape and to look good in a bikini, like this is insane. That you felt you need to do this to this level, like professional athletes do this, like the professional NFL fucking linebacker is doing this kind of workout. Like you don't have to do this to look good. Is what I'm saying.
So I don't participate in CrossFit, but I'm a fan. I like to watch it. I like to watch like Fraser and like Brooke Ents and Sarah Sigmund's daughter and stuff like that. I like to. I'm a fan. And recently they had Fraser on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he talked about that very thing about how, because Joe Rogan said the same thing you said about people wrecking their bodies doing it, and he said that he was lucky when he was actually an Olympic weightlifter, and so he learned a lot of stuff about the mechanics of the body through Olympic weightlifting, and then he ended up I think he ended up throwing his back out because he was doing these grueling workouts up at the Olympic whatever the facility they have.
Yeah, facilities.
And so he had to like produce, he was under a lot of pressure to produce, and then he ended up messing himself up, and then he stepped away, and then someone invited him to go to a thing. He says, I was lucky I landed into a legitimate CrossFit gym. He says, because there was plenty of coaches and they were all watching and they were all correcting form, and he said there's other ones where I've seen their train wrecks. He says they'll go in, they'll put CrossFit on their gym, but it's just that's all it is. There's nothing,
right?
There's no like
it's a lot of technique.
Yeah,
it's all technique. A lot of people get hurt CrossFit or even
anything. People get hurt all the time.
Technique. Even in powerlifting, there's a lot of technique. You just can't go in there and start picking up heavy ass weight or whatever.
That's true. All I'm saying is like it seems super extreme for a chick who's just trying to have a bikini body.
But the community it's the community that's involved in it. It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat to watch how they all back each other. I mean, it's they're a part of something. It's like a group thing.
It's a cult.
Yeah, it's
like fucking vegans. You know what I mean? Like you can't talk to a CrossFitter who doesn't talk about being fucking like if you talk to a vegan person, like you don't even need to know they're vegan, they'll tell you they're vegan.
Yeah.
CrossFitters are the same way.
Well, you talk to a power lifter and first thing they talk about is how many calories are you taking in?
Yeah. You fucking powerlifters.
Too many.
Too many.
Yeah. All of them. That's all I'm taking.
All I'm saying is that
how much protein do you eat?
Not enough.
Yeah. All I'm saying is the average person doesn't have to do that to be fit.
No,
that's
not at
extreme.
All. Not at all.
It's an
the average
workout.
person, the average person, all they have to do is go for a walk, be able to do 10 push-ups and be able to do, sitting down, stand up and from a chair, get up off the floor. That's what the average person should be able to do.
Yeah.
I
don't mean that. What I'm saying is the average person that wants to be healthy.
Yeah, that's healthy.
That's healthy.
Yeah,
you should see people there's a lot of people that don't. My
Really?
sister, rest in peace. There was a point where she was so heavy she couldn't. I would tell her to get on the floor, and to get up was really super difficult for her. And I would tell her every single day, get up off the floor 10 times, And so that's how she ended up. She was getting stronger. By the end of her life, she was going in the gym and doing 2-hour workouts at the gym where she couldn't even move before.
She was trying.
So that the thing is that for most people can't do that stuff.
Right.
Right. Well, rest in peace to your sister, both of you guys, man.
Yeah.
That was a tough one.
Yep. Definitely was.
Yeah. All right.
So, but that's the thing. So
That's another podcast.
yeah,
that's another
that's a whole nother
podcast,
thing.
man. It really
We
is,
also
you know.
Wait.
You gotta get on the mic.
How hard it is to go from sedentary to fit.
Yeah.
Like, cause you go from being all heavy and slow to quick and strong, and like it's super hard.
Yeah. So Max has grown up in the gym. So when I was
Maximo.
yeah, his name is Maximo. When he was a baby, he would go to the gym with me, and so I'd set up the playpen, and everybody, by the end of the workout or whatever, he'd have chalk all over his face because the guys would go there and mess with them and stuff like that. And so he grew up in the gym, and he's really like he would know. I think he knows more than most 13-year-olds.
Dude,
about working out.
I thought this kid was 18, man. When he walked in, my son's about to be 18 in a couple weeks, right? And when he walked in, I was like, "Oh, this is good." I was like cussing and whatever in front of him, like, "Oh, it's cool. He's like gonna be 18, like no big deal." 13 years old.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
I'm sorry. Even my son Matthew, he started when he was very young, going to the gym with me.
Yeah.
And I remember he used to put hand marks all over Robert's back.
yeah,
yeah. Chalk.
He'd walk over and slap me in the back, like, "God damn it, Matthew!"
He started when he turned 13. He was interested in lifting weights and stuff like that, and
he got into it.
Well, your kid is now he's older and he's been pumping iron for a long time. Yeah. Your daughter,
my daughter
too, right?
My daughter, she just started. Same thing. She's always been interested, and I would take her to the gym, and I've never pushed my kids to do go to the gym, or they actually push me to go to the gym. Yeah. And I get off to work, I'm like, I don't want to do shit. And he's like, "No, let's go to the gym." Mm-hmm. So yes, she likes it. She's getting strong.
I've been watching that. You take them hunting and all that stuff.
Yeah. Right? So in my family, since the kids were
Mexican
small,
Joe Rogan.
Since we were kids, there were kids. I've introduced them to firearms, fishing, hunting, off-roading. So, since they were, I want to say 8, 9, babies. 10 years old.
I watch your stories, man, and I am so proud that you're doing that for
them.
them.
I mean, my daughter, she has her own AR, and all my kids have their own stuff.
We're building one after this podcast. I'm just saying. I'm not kidding, by the way. I'm totally not kidding.
And she loves it. She just got her, she went through her hunting safety course and got her hunting license.
Good shit.
And she's gone deer and bear hunting with me and birds and everything.
I didn't want to kill anything in my life other than I want to kill a bear.
How do you even kill a bear?
Shoot it.
You shoot it.
And then you eat it.
There's like a weak point, right?
We actually, my daughter and I, her first day hunting with me, we actually saw a bear. We were glassing down in the valley, and the bear came out on the road. It must have been 30 yards from us. If he would have been looking a little bit to the left, we would have easily taken the bear out.
Yeah.
But she likes it. She likes the hunting. She likes guns and
I love that, man.
Fishing and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's fun. It's funny too because going back to Matthew, we were at a powerlifting competition and Matthew was in it. And then Tank is talking to Matthew, and Matthew's kind of like, whatever, like brushing him off. And then Tank turns to me and goes, "Fucking tell him something, all right?" And then I'm like, "All right." So then I start telling him, and then he's like, "He won't listen to me. Fucking tell him something." So I started telling him, like, "Hey, you need to, they're being freaking depth Nazis, and you need to fucking get lower on their squat, and da-da-da, versus that." So the first one, he bombs out, and he goes, "You're right." And I'm like, "I told you, like, listen to your dad,
Yeah. So he started when he was 13, and he got hooked on it, and every competition we would go to, he was the youngest. Teen,
the young
competing, and he competed with 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds, and
he's fucking huge now though,
and he's big.
The same kid I see on Instagram, right?
Yeah,
he's actually a kid. He's a young man now.
So right now he's not competing because of the whole COVID shit. So he's just kind of maintaining strength, but he's doing very well. I mean, he's squatting.
He's huge. Are you kidding me? He was squatting some shit. And I was like, I can't do that. I was like, fucking, whose kid is? Okay, it's Tank's kid.
Yeah.
Fuck. You know, I mean, like fucking, he's huge, man.
I mean, his squats are like in the around 500s.
He wears a whole fucking outfit too when
singlet.
he does it.
Yeah, singlet.
Yeah. If you know singlet, it's basically like a man bikini.
Yeah,
kind of, right? It's like a man. What would you call those?
It's a wrestling singlet.
It's a wrestling singlet. That's what it is. Yeah, but I'm saying when he's lifting, man, I'm like, Holy shit, this kid's an animal, man.
Yeah, he's strong.
And
He's
it's just,
strong.
you know, when he was young, he was impatient. He wanted to lift heavy all the time, and
Right.
you know, that's one thing about kids nowadays. They see all this shit on the internet.
Instant.
You know,
They want it right away, and it takes work.
They want to
Yeah.
be strong, like the guy that you've seen or whatever. So it all, you know, takes time, patience.
Yeah,
You know,
it
be
takes
smart.
work.
Be smart about your training.
Well, one thing I wanted to say about you that I really, really, truly respect is how you're raising your daughter, man. I watched that online, and I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, he takes her off roading. He lets her drive when they're off roading.
Oh, that was funny. So I just pulled up and, all right, you drive the truck, and she's never driven a car.
And she was like, "What? I can drive?"
Yeah. So I said, "So with the manejalo?" He's like, all right. So she did well.
And no, but I watch that kind of stuff, right? So, she's gonna grow up to be a badass woman because of the shit you're instilling in her. You know what I mean?
She's very strong.
Yeah,
Very strong.
like I see the workouts and the efforts and what you're doing and the teaching her how to hunt and how to fish and all that crazy stuff, and I'm like, man, that's badass, and I respect that because a lot of people they're not giving that to their kids these days, you know, and I honestly, like, in my life, I could have taught my kid a lot more things, and now I'm just starting to do that now, and he's already an adult, you know.
Yeah.
Now, I know
It's never too late.
It's never too late, but he's appreciating it now. You know what I mean? He's like, Dad, thanks, man. And like, even it's just, but I miss. There's things that like where like I see that and I'm like, I respect the fuck out of that Tank.
They'll remember when they get older. They'll remember every single moment that you created with them. You know?
Yeah, I respect the fuck out of that, man.
Well, like Robert has a shift. He does shift work where he's days and nights, and then he works 12-hour shifts. So he can't go to the gym every day with Max.
Right.
So the days that he
Who's
doesn't,
got to go to the gym with this guy though? He's fucking huge. Look at him. He go by himself, right?
No, he still needs to. He still needs work.
I could probably bench more than him right now.
Yeah, you can.
so
All right, good.
We're
All right, he's only
working on it.
13 though.
How much do you bench?
Oh, he's calling me out.
Say it again.
Don't be a hater on my podcast, bro.
How much do you bench?
I honestly
Don't
haven't-
say
I
numbers.
haven't
Don't
maxed,
say
but
numbers.
It'll be in the 300s. For a short fat guy, I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. But you know what I'm saying? Like this kid, he's got it. You know what I mean? You've given it to him.
Yeah, and that's the same thing. Is like I don't make him do it, and I always tell him like sometimes he doesn't want to go to the gym, and I'm like, all right, if you want to be a piece of shit, go ahead, and I walk away. And then,
But I'll take him.
yeah,
Exactly.
So when he doesn't take him, I take him.
It takes a neighborhood to raise kids, and people don't realize that. And
yeah.
it's so
Just the same
important.
thing when Alex was in Afghanistan. I had his sons all the time, and
Exactly.
I would, whatever.
And why are his fucking 28 kids successful now? Because you were there when he was in Afghanistan. Alex has a bunch of kids, by the way.
That I
All
know
kinds
of.
Hey, and the ones at Tijuana don't count, bro. Because I was there with
I
you.
thought we agreed no TJ stories.
Yeah, and I was there with you, and I don't remember those. We're gonna leave it at that, but
Yeah, and it's definitely like and it's pretty neat. I don't know. I enjoy watching them grow up and the changes. You know what I mean? Like I've seen. I mean, for the longest time, I didn't know Tank's daughter's name. I thought her name was Mamas. So that's they call her.
That's what we still Victoria.
Victoria.
Everybody
Shout
calls
out.
Mama.
Yeah. Shout out to Victoria. But for
she's
the
on a
longest time, I was.
podcast now. Shout out
AKA
Victoria.
Yeah,
Mamas.
Victoria.
Yeah.
What's up?
So
Hey, by the way, I know her mom, Carmen, who's fucking dope as fuck. I know her since high school too. It's crazy, man. What a small world. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
definitely.
So she comes from two
We're,
really
we're
good
trying to
people.
get her to the gym, but
Carmen's not even tripping. But what I'm saying is that Victoria comes from two really good parents
Definitely.
on both sides. So you know what I mean? That matters. It takes a village to raise people. It takes two parents to stand up and be good parents, but it takes a village to raise people after that.
Yeah.
And so
You're definitely a product of your surroundings.
100%.
And I think it's like good to put your kids in the good situations. Whether it's like Max participates in the Solid program with Ruben.
I just started being a sponsor of that program.
Yeah, and so I'm sorry, with Gilbert.
With Gilbert, Gilbert.
With
Gilbert Regalado.
Yeah,
Solid Foundations, man, awesome. They've been on the podcast before.
yeah.
Stuff,
And so the he's he knows Gilbert's daughters, and they're awesome kids too.
He could be somebody there to help out Gilbert run it.
Yeah,
Even at 13.
Well, he's still a novice.
No, but what I'm saying is that I know I can't believe you're 13. Mijo. Jesus Christ, what are you feeding this kid?
Everything.
How tall are you?
A little bit better than
6 foot.
He's like 6 foot.
Yeah.
He's 13. People. He's 6 foot tall.
And he weighs 210.
Do you know that women 220, 6 foot tall? He's 13. Do you know that women dream of a man like you, and you're not even a man yet? That's absolutely insane. What are you feeding this kid?
Size 14 shoe.
No, 13. Size 13 shoe.
Jesus Christ! I don't know. Let me see your forearm. These girls don't know what's coming. No, man. I honest to God, and I feel really bad. I genuinely feel bad that one. He walked in. I thought he was my son's age. And I started talking like, "Oh, it's cool because my son's like an adult now, right?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh yeah, blah, blah."
No, and you know, I've always talked like that around him. And
The way I treat him, when he's over with me, I tell him I'm not your daddy. I don't give a shit about your feelings. Like that shit, cuts out right then and there. When we lift, it's serious business. It's not. We're not messing around. We're not playing.
13, man. Jesus Christ. This is like Captain America, the Mexican version.
so, yeah, he wants to, just like I growing up, he wanted to play football, and I didn't want him to play football yet. So, I didn't want him to play football. So I tried to get him to play other sports, and I tried to get him to play basketball. And when you're tall, why don't you play basketball? I don't want to play basketball. I want to play football. All right, well, why don't you play soccer, baseball, something else? Nope, I want to play football, right? Flag football. He's like, do you drink decaf coffee? And I said, no. He's like, well, I'm not playing flag football then. And I said, motherfucker, use my logic.
He's related to his father,
yeah,
huh?
use my logic against me.
Hey,
So-
you know what, man? I am just shocked at how big this kid is. I can't. We'll take pictures, right? So that people know how big this fucking kid is. And 6 foot tall, 200, how much?
220.
220 pounds, and he's 13 years old.
That's when I walked in, I said, God damn, this feels good. I'm taller than everyone here.
But like I told, I'll still beat your ass.
Yeah.
Well, going back to the gym thing, I get mad sometimes when I go over to Solid. Like these kids, they mess around with weights, and I remember it was like probably like a year or two ago. I was messing around in the gym, and I was hanging out with my cousins. I was messing around. I got in trouble because I think I dropped the bar. Like I decided to lift it up over my head, and I dropped it, and I got in a whole bunch of trouble for it. So then, I think about that, and then when I go to the gym, I'm always like, okay, this isn't a place to mess around. You don't go and have fun here. You go and lift weights. Then you go and have fun and think about, like, oh, my God, I lift that much, and then you get excited. Yeah. But not when you're there. Like, I think, like, that's like that's just, like, you're in a mode.
That'll change as you get older and you start having more fun in the gym. Or, like, little things, like putting chalk on someone's back and... that kind of stuff.
That'll change, yeah.
It's like at our gym.
Yeah.
We go there and we work out or whatever, but our gym is not like your typical 24-hour fitness gym.
Conventional.
Our gym is loud.
Tank, what do you bench press your heaviest weight?
Right now?
Well, your heaviest ever.
485.
All right, Robert, what's your heaviest ever?
It's almost 600
pounds?
600 pounds.
Alex, your heaviest?
455.
Fuck all you got. Like, mine was like 360 something. But for that's totally strong, you assholes. For somebody who doesn't
600 pounds with a shirt.
Yeah, it was with the shirt.
Oh, you bench with a shirt?
Oh, yeah, it was with the bench shirt.
What's a bench? Is that the one thing that kind of spreads across your chest? And
it limits your movement a little bit. And then, so if you learn how to use it correctly, I mean, you still have to be strong. You still have to be able to hold up 600 pounds. It doesn't matter. Like,
it's not going to do it for you.
Do you guys want to know what's crazy? I just said like 360 pounds, and people on this podcast are going to go. They're going to look at what you guys said and go, that's ridiculous. And they're going to look and go, guys are going to judge me, but they're not even going to be able to lift that much.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Hey, bro, if you want to judge me,
we were at a family.
Much, you know what I mean? Like,
we were at a family party, and this one guy that married into my family asks Alex, or tells Alex, like, oh man, I saw this guy doing 2 plates, which is 225.
Yeah.
He's like, it just seems so ridiculous to me. And then Alex tells him like, hey, well, like that's like normal. And then he goes, but it's just, why would you want to do so much weight like that? And then then Alex tells him, well, Robert does 3 like nothing. And then he goes 3, and then he goes, he says, so then he turns around and asks me, he's like, so really you can do 3 plates? And then Alex tells him like, no, ask him how many times he could do 3 plates. That's the appropriate question.
Well, because it was people that don't understand. They have no clue what that world is like.
That's exactly why I just brought it up. Like I'm not. Right now, I'm just starting over again, but I'm fucking still strong as fuck. But when I was strong years ago, like people don't realize how much weight I was pushing at fucking me. You know what I mean? I'm like, so when I see you guys talking about, I'm like, Jesus Christ,
the Swole Patrol,
600 pounds.
So
they call us the Swole Patrol. We'll talk. We're gonna touch on that in a second. We're gonna the Swole Patrol stories for sure.
He tells me, he's like, well, that's ridiculous. Why would you want to do that? And I said, I don't know. I like the feeling. He's like, that's so ridiculous. Well, to me, going around and jumping around with a bunch of sweating guys trying to throw a basketball through a hoop because he plays basketball after work every day. To me, that seems ridiculous. You know what I mean? But to me, trying to pick up as much weight as I can, that does not seem ridiculous to me. Who doesn't want to be strong? And if you're saying that you don't want to be strong, you're lying, because you do want to be strong. You just don't want to put in the work. Yeah, that's just the way it is.
Or you're incapable.
And who are you competing against?
It's yourself.
It's yourself.
100%. It's always yourself, man. I can't compete against you guys. Fuck you guys.
So, but that's not the thing. I wouldn't expect. The awesome thing at our gym is we don't expect that you do more than me. Right. It's I expect you do more than you did yesterday or the week before or whatever. Right. And then we push ourselves in that, or we'll help each other out. And like just today, a friend of ours that goes to the gym. Shout out to Tim. He has the Normatec, like there's these compression things.
Oh, those help you. Are good. I have those here.
No, they do.
Yeah, I have a version of those.
Yeah, here. So they help with the circulation in your legs. And so he told me I have to do the Bataan Death March on Saturday, and that's 27 miles with a 40-pound rucksack.
That's basically a marathon with the 40 pounds on your back.
Yeah. And so I'm going to do that on Saturday.
Just so people hear that.
I've done it before.
Yeah.
Just so people hear that. It's a fucking marathon with a fucking 40-pound sack on your back.
Yeah. So I'm going to do that on Saturday.
Wait, why are you doing that, though?
It's gnarly.
Just because.
Believe me.
Just for fun?
Well, it's in commemoration of the Bataan Death March that happened in 1942 when the Japanese took over the Philippines. And they didn't anticipate capturing as many American soldiers as they did. So they weren't prepared. So what they did is they made them walk 60 miles.
To see how many of them would drop.
And you know how a lot of Americans died during that march.
Yes.
I know this march now.
That's why it's called the Bataan Death March.
Yes. A bunch of people died in that march.
And it happened April 9th, 1942.
Dude, the fucking Japanese were relentless, man.
Yeah. So then this is a march. It normally happens in White Sands, New Mexico. But because of COVID, you could do it remotely. So me and a couple guys.
You gonna be on a fucking treadmill?
No, I'm gonna be with the tracker on my phone, and I have to walk the 27 miles.
You said a treadmill, bro. I was gonna judge you.
No treadmill.
All right.
So you have a tracker on your phone, and you're gonna walk the 27 miles. So
my fat ass judging him.
so we're gonna do it on Saturday, and so our friends,
this Saturday?
Yeah, this Saturday coming up.
Can you like donate to this cause, or is
I don't know if you can donate to the cause. I mean,
you're doing
sure there's
recognition.
Yeah. There's some organization that does. I paid. Like not only am I gonna do it, but I paid $65 to do it.
Jesus Christ, man. Hey, Mario Tanque's over here going, I'm not doing that shit.
I'm going fishing Saturday.
I'm gonna go fishing on the beach on Saturday too.
I'll go fishing too Saturday. We'll be thinking about him walking while we're fishing.
Think about me.
Yeah, fuck that. When I'm done catching perches and shit on the beach, I'll send you a text message, asshole.
So we're gonna meet a couple guys. Are gonna do it from I've been training for it, and then Tim asked me what are you doing, and I said, I'm getting ready for this thing. He's like, come on Thursday and I'll let you use my Normatec things and I'll help you out. And he's really knowledgeable in terms about getting your
Tim's a trainer.
Yeah, he's a trainer. So
he's a trainer.
Yeah, so he helps you out. He helped me out on getting like the circulation really good in my legs, so that because last time I did the 12-mile ruck in less than 3 hours, I cramped up really bad. So and that one I was literally like jogging for 12 miles with a 40-pound ruck. You have to do it in less than 3 hours.
It's hard.
Jogging with 40 pounds for 5 miles is ridiculous.
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
So and then being at 45 years old, it's kind of like a little bit harder.
Nah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
He wanted to throw that in there because it sounds better. That's like throwing sal y pimienta.
Hey, your brother's not gonna let you get away with that one.
Well,
Bro.
No, only because, and there's a few people that don't know this, but there's first sergeants all over the military that are
like
in their
50s,
60s,
50s and 60s.
50s and 60s.
And they'll smash that shit.
And they're fucking
They're animals,
just
huh?
manimals.
Yeah.
All right,
They'll
so
smash
stop being
that.
a bitch, Robert.
I know.
All right, so
Hey, I'm trying to get a little more credit here. You know what I mean? Shit.
Hey, it sounds good to those who don't
hey,
know.
you know what's crazy? There's way too much chorizo right now. There's some feminist, someone's gonna listen to this podcast and fucking lose it.
Yeah.
She's gonna, she's gonna lose this shit over this.
but-
Like
So,
the word manimal.
There's too much testosterone going down here, bro.
Yeah. So we're doing the Bataan Death March on Saturday, and so Tim helped me out, and like that's how that gym is. Like everybody's in there trying to help each other perform better, help do things. You bounce ideas off each other. Said, hey, I learned about this or whatever, this and that, and then you talk about it. And so it's a cool spot.
Look at the knowledge that Robert got there. Like Mario, I was only benching 225, right?
Yeah.
I was doing 225, and that was like my max.
Yeah, he could rep it out.
I was doing a few times, right? But not a lot, right? I was 225. In 1 year, I think we worked out for 3 months?
Yeah.
We worked out together for 3 months. After that, the rest of that year, I hit 405.
Jesus
in 1 year.
Really?
From 225.
I could get that then.
Absolutely. You
It's
can.
just about learning how to do things correctly.
You got to be smart. You can't just go in there fucking pump iron or heavy all the time. I see guys. There's a couple of guys in our gym that go heavy all the time, but they just plateau. They don't move up.
Right.
Yeah, I never hit a plateau.
So it's always you got to be smart about your training. You got your heavy days and your dynamic days, your rep days, your rest days, your deloads, stretching. One guy that I always ask is Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce
Mendoza.
I talked about him at our last podcast. Bruce Mendoza. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't know shit.
Yeah, I mean, I got introduced to powerlifting by Robert, and then I asked Bruce for info. Because I didn't know. What he does is the conjugate. From Westside Barbell.
Yeah,
and even just not just the bench, but it's a lot of little muscles that you got to work out, not just bench press. It's a lot of little stuff.
Every little thing, yeah.
So Westside Barbell, for those of you who don't know, it's pretty much the strongest gym in America. Huh?
Yeah.
Some will argue it's not, and there's people that don't like him.
Louis Simmons.
Louis Simmons is the guy who runs it, and he's this old, crusty old guy. Looks like Yoda, but that guy knows his shit, and he's produced like these animal strong.
Where's it physically located?
It's physically in Columbus,
Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, and it's not, and you can't just go to that gym. You can't show up and
You
go
can't
to
just
that
show
gym.
up there and go.
No,
You have to
get
get
invited. And so, like for instance, Tank and I would not get invited to go to that gym.
We're trying.
We're just fanboys.
Really? Fucking monsters.
Yeah, we're just.
By the way, these guys are fucking animals.
We're just fanboys, and so we're fanboys of the Westside Barbell.
What about Dirk? Can Dirk go?
Dirk can't go either. It's
those dudes there are crazy though.
They're
mad strong though.
Yeah, there's a documentary called Westside versus the World. It's pretty interesting. And
gotta watch it.
I'm from the east side, puto. Fuck those.
So that's the thing. It's funny because when I first saw that, I was like Westside, and when I first learned how to do powerlifting, it was on a gym at the Westside in Santa Barbara, and it was basically a closet, and it was like a closet, and there was a squat rack, a bench, and a deadlift platform. And that's it. And then a bunch of fucking dumbbells all over the floor. And I was lifting there with this guy, Ryan, with Bruce, and then with this other guy, Thad. And Thad is was huge.
Fucking ogre of a man.
His name's
Huge.
Thad. That's that
Was
bad.
it Thad Coleman?
Yeah.
Coleman?
Yeah.
Thad
a
Coleman.
fucking crazy
That's a
name.
strong name.
That's a strong name.
He was
It's like he was on the side of a fucking protein packet somewhere.
we would have it would
You
take
know?
it would take all three of us to spot him when he would squat.
Jesus Christ.
He would squat so much weight that the blood would squirt through the pores of his back.
What the fuck?
Like 1,000
Yeah,
pounds.
fucking huge. Fucking
Huge.
man. Huge, strong.
Yeah, he was
Nicest
just
guy ever.
nicest guy in the
Super
world.
nice guy.
He used to be he used to dance ballet. He was in high school.
Jesus Christ.
And now and
Think about somebody that big, that strong, and mad.
Yeah, that's
You
not
you
good.
wouldn't even be able to walk down the street because
I would have to stab him.
you would terrify somebody.
I would have to stab him.
super nicest guy in the
So
world,
people who are
awesome
like,
dude.
What are you gonna do with somebody like that? I'm
Yeah.
gonna stab him.
So most big guys are gonna be nice, not because they have to be nice, but because they don't want everybody to fear them.
Yeah,
That's one thing
true.
about a lot of people to think that just because you're a big, strong dude, you're an asshole.
No, you guys
know?
are sitting at my table. You guys are some of the nicest guys I know in my life.
You know, of all the powerlifter guys I've known, you know,
They're all
elite
nice.
guys, everybody's super nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Nobody hates on each other.
They
like,
don't.
like Robert was saying, like in our gym gets loud. Like we crank up the music, everybody's yelling and everybody's slapping each other in the back or whatever.
And it's not like the
Hey,
yelling that you hear at the gym. Like,
You can't do that at Planet Fitness,
Yeah,
motherfuckers.
you can't do that. So it's not like that. It's not like that type of yelling. It's more like a
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Come on, bitch, pick that shit up. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
more of that stuff.
But what I'm saying is, like at Planet Fitness, you can't even grunt.
So we're like
There's there's like alarm bells that go off if you
Yeah.
grunt
Oh,
or
the
some
alarm?
shit.
yeah. So we have to. So
What is that real?
Yes, it
That's
is
a real thing, bro.
That's a real thing.
Yes, because
Oh
they
my
don't
God.
because they don't want to be triggered in the gym. So,
What?
yeah, it's
Oh my God! What
it's
am I
the-
hearing right now?
No, it's a real thing, dude. And it's like women have created a gym where they don't want men to go to because they don't want to feel subjugated for whatever reason. Maybe you shouldn't just half naked if you're gonna go to work out. If you want guys, to
But no,
be
but that's
weird out.
fine. Remember
But-
they had curves in Santa
Hey,
Barbara.
hey,
Like,
No.
settle down. Let them dress half naked.
Okay, well, fuck, I want to see them too. I'm just saying that like, if you go to a gym and you want to work out with some real people, like if there's men working out there, they're gonna fucking work out. You're gonna throw some shit around. You're like you're gonna pump some shit. You're gonna like whatever. But like the Planet Fitness stuff is weird.
Yeah,
It's
that-
extremely weird.
That
Like,
doesn't make sense.
There
to me.
they give
literally
you-
are alarms. If there's a decibel that gets too loud,
and then they give you
that
pizza.
go off.
They give you pizza there. That
and they
pizza.
get
Yeah,
on your way
for
out,
the
they give you
fat guys.
pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it!
So when I get like is on Sunday or Saturday mornings, fuckers bring donuts
Yeah, I bring donuts once in a while.
to the
It's
door.
weird, man. So
But-
I don't understand that aspect of
Yeah.
of that gym. I
Yeah.
don't get it. I make fun of it, and I will continue to make fun of it. Like, when I'm working out, like I'm not there yet. I'll get back there, right? I'm gonna fucking Joe Rogan. I'm gonna fucking put all the Mexican fucking supplements in me pretty soon.
The Mexican
I'm-
Joe Rogan.
I'm
Rice
gonna
and beans, that's all you need.
I'm gonna
Rice
get
and beans.
serious about it, right? When I get there, like, don't tell me I can't fucking grunt when I'm bench pressing 315 pounds. Like, I need to be able to get it out of me. You know what I mean? Like, that's silly. Like, the fact that is a thing that is violates your safety is so stupid.
No, not in our gym. Our
Yeah,
gym is
I don't even
unique.
know where that came from or where that started from.
Well, there's gyms now that have that, and that's
Yeah,
Planet Fitness is one of
That's
those.
ridiculous.
See, I don't
So
know.
our-
I don't know if there's any other powerlifting strongman gyms in Santa Barbara other than Fisher's.
Right.
Yeah. That
I mean, because we have the thing about our gym is we have a lot of equipment. It's specialized equipment.
And powerlifting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
cambered bars, double
yeah,
bars.
it's not just a straight bar. We have all kinds of different squat bars
So
and
this fool, I see him with all kinds of weight on his shit. Fucking like,
Sleds.
Jesus Christ, this animal.
sleds, bands, chains, kettlebells.
even for the smaller guys. I mean, there's guys at the gym that want to get stronger.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I'm helping this one guy right now, Chris, and he hit me up saying that he wanted to get strong because he sees Matthew or even Victoria, and he picked my brain. So I do his programming.
She's probably stronger than him.
I don't
He's
wanna
nodding
do it, but
yes. His daughter, by the way,
That's
man,
Victoria
Tank's daughter is like mini Tank. She's badass, man.
So
Legit.
she's learning. Well, anyways,
Yeah.
Chris asked me, for some if I can help him out.
Yeah.
So he's skinny and he's a small guy. And I told him you got to eat a little bit more. Put some more meat in your body.
Yeah.
And so I do his programming. So he sends me videos, and he's actually getting stronger.
Yeah.
you know. And he asked me the other day, so what do you think when you're doing my workouts? I'm like, how weak you are. You know?
Hey, but see, that's how you talk to a man.
Yeah.
If you want to raise a man, that's how you talk to a man.
Check it out. When I was lifting, I always thought if I couldn't do it, I failed.
Right.
You have to fail.
Yeah, it wasn't until like these guys that do what they do that realize that failing tells you where you're at.
100%.
You have to fail, or else you're not going to know where you're at.
Yeah.
That's how you know your gut check. That's a good.
And failure
good
still
check.
work.
Yes,
Failure
Well,
is
that's a
still
gut
work.
check.
Like you go and you pick up 500 pounds off the rack, and you're gonna go like, oh shit, you start lowering it and you fail at it. You still carry that for a move. You still moved it.
Yes.
Yes,
So-
failures do work. Like, look at me. Okay. Life's getting pretty good.
Yeah, get on the mic, Mijo. Sorry, we got Maximo over here. We could put him on the mic. How do failures work?
It's so awkward. I say something and I have to repeat it, and
I know.
it makes everything unfunny.
But you gotta get on the mic because people can't hear you. You gotta get on the mic.
Yeah,
But yes, absolutely, man. It's the people don't understand that, like, you have to push yourself to a point where you almost want to die, where you want to puke, where you don't feel good.
well, you find your sticking point.
Yes,
Yeah.
So wherever you stuck, that's what you want to beat.
right.
So it doesn't matter if you get the full rep the next time, as long as you beat where you were at
Hey.
the last time.
I gotta say something, man. Stop making me feel like a bitch because I've been a bitch for the last year. Fuck. I just started lifting again, guys. To be honest, and no joke, it was amazing. Like I started pumping iron again, and I was like, ooh, I did have a really bad injury for a while that prevented me from lifting. And I look back now and think it didn't prevent me. I could have lifted through that and just
Lowered the weight.
well, no, I couldn't, because even at a low weight, my it was bad. But looking back now, I just worked through it. Somebody told me, hey, work through it,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, I'll work through it. And now I'm working through it, and I'm like, this shit feels fucking good. I posted a picture earlier. I'm laying in bed. I'm like, oh, my shoulders are coming back. I'm like, oh, my shoulders are coming back.
Sometimes you just gotta talk to somebody that has a little bit more knowledge of
Sure.
lifting
Or
whatever.
just when we talk to Bruce, and Bruce will tell us like, hey, you're doing this wrong, or maybe you're doing too much, or maybe you need to scale it back. Also, putting your ego in check.
Ego.
Big
Ego's
time.
everything.
That was originally. So I had gotten to like a certain strength level.
That's so important.
during lifting weights through high school and football and stuff like that, and so I got to a certain point, and then when someone pointed out like, hey, you're doing that wrong,
Right.
and like, what do you mean I'm doing it wrong? I'm benching over 300 pounds. Yeah, but you're doing it wrong. You're gonna hurt yourself. Luckily, the person that told me that, I knew that like they knew their shit.
Right.
So if it would have been Joe Schmo that would have told me, someone that didn't know, I would have been like, yeah, whatever, fuck off, But because that person said it, I was like, all right, well, teach me, show me how to do it correctly.
Right.
They showed me how to do it correctly, and then Bruce came along and then refined that, and then now it's like, that guy, definitely left a big impact on how I view not just weightlifting but everything. There's ways to do things. And there's things that are feasible, and there's things that aren't feasible. And then sometimes you just got to hear the sad truth. So with him,
You're
Bruce,
just not strong enough.
yeah,
Yeah. Hey, bro,
So Bruce-
it's never gonna happen.
no, he won't say it's never gonna happen. He'll just say he'll shrug his shoulders and put his arms out. He's like, guess you're just not strong enough.
Yeah.
But that right there tells
Saying
you
that's not gonna happen.
no, it's telling you like
You need to
fucking
work at it.
you need to work at it.
Oh, okay. He's trying to motivate.
Yeah, he's motivating you, but it pisses
He's
you
very
off.
smart. And like he can just watch you lift and kind of pick up. Okay, you need to work on this. You need to work on that.
Yeah, like so we'll give you like the bench press for instance, and you're like, oh man, I got it halfway, and then all of a sudden it just collapsed on me. He'll be like, all right, he says you need to work on your lats, and you need to work on your triceps. That's it.
He knows.
Yeah, he knows exactly what the mechanics
a lot
of
of
it.
guys when they're benching, like I don't know, he's the one that Bruce taught me, is bench press is a chest exercise, and it's actually a back exercise.
It's a
the
compound
tricep.
exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's definitely back, shoulders, and
back
chest.
and tricep.
Yeah.
Triceps and
Triceps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Triceps,
and
triceps
main
and back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, your chest feels it, of
Yeah.
course, because that's where the weight's coming. But your triceps and your back and your I felt everywhere, man. If you're, like,
Well, the minute I learned how to do it correctly, my whole body was sore.
Yeah, if your body ain't fucking hurting, your whole fucking body's not sore. You're not benching, right?
See, I'm not benching.
Yeah, like all of this right here, and my back, and for some reason right here.
Your legs.
Your
my
legs.
all painful right now.
Yep.
Maximo, get on the mic, Maximo.
So yeah, it's a
Maximo. Are you not entertained?
Well,
all right.
Sometimes it's hard to hear things like Mario said, from hearing things from your dad is different from hearing the same thing from somebody else.
I need you to train my kid because my kid doesn't listen to me for shit.
So
that's why I told Robert.
I need one of you guys to help my kid lift because he doesn't listen to me for shit, man.
That's why Robert will tell Max stuff, and he's just not he's not taking it in.
I listen to some of it, but the thing is, like, it's different. Like, if I were to hear the same thing from my grandma, it's a different story because it's from my grandma, and it's like I'll listen to like 50% of what he says, and I'm like, you tell me stuff all the time.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean? And I try to, like, and it sucks so much because he's like, oh, you're not listening to me. All right then. Be a piece of shit. That's all right.
So I don't allow him to just say that.
Right.
So to me, I won't just say, oh, all right, then just go ahead and be a piece of shit. That's not an option.
Right.
So I will sit there with him until he does it right, or until he does something to where I'm like, okay, he worked out enough.
Right.
But I don't care about his feelings. So for him to make me feel like I've seen enough from him, it's going to be a lot more than from his daddy.
Right. That's true, man. So I want to shift focus a little bit from working out to some stories we have. I want to cover one story that Alex and I have.
Which one?
Yeah, which one of the
Which
1,000?
one? Let's see.
So there was a day where we were gonna go celebrate my brother's bachelor party, and I was the best man.
Yes.
By the way, here's some crazy shit before we even start the story. I don't know. You guys don't know this yet. My brother's wedding, on his wedding day, him and I got in a fist fight.
Oh, I knew that. You told me about that. Yeah, you told me about that.
I was the best man, and the best man and the groom got in a fight.
Wait a minute. You got to go back a little bit. You can't just start out with that.
Okay, well, I'm just going to put that out
there. You
there.
guys have been fighting
forever
since you were born.
Since I was born, he said.
Raleigh probably punched you.
He fucking hated me since I was born. I love him, though, But
it's a love-hate relationship. That's right.
Do you remember pulling me off of him in the Calypso parking lot?
Yes. I think it was probably it wasn't the first time, because the confidence you had to go fight him. I knew that wasn't the first time you probably got over on him. But
you're gonna make him mad now. Stop.
No.
All right.
Look,
but it was funny though, because all my friends are pointing out, they were laughing as we're throwing blows, and they're pointing us off of each other. These assholes in the back of Santa Barbara Calypso parking lot back in the day.
Yeah,
you're fucking assholes, man. But
I had to hold you back because you were like,
I was being an animal. But it's because that's a whole other story. But a Marine that I fought, and every time I ran to that guy, he went to high school with him, and every time I ran to that fucking Marine, because I beat him once. He would not give up on fighting me. So every time I ran into him, I'd have to fight him again and again and again and again. And that was one of those times. And my brother got mad at me because he thought I was starting shit for no reason. I'm like, that motherfucker wants to fight me every time. When I see him, it's on sight. What do you mean, And my brother got mad at me.
Yeah.
So he got mad at me because that guy walked into the club.
And he was brewed too. Your brother was brewed already.
He was brewed. Well, I was brewed. We were all brewed. Yeah. It was a Sunday afternoon. Yeah. But he was mad at me because he thought I was starting shit. I'm like, no, I have to fight this guy every time I fucking see him. What do you mean? Like this guy wants to fight me every time I see him. And this was a big ass white guy too, by the way. He was like 6 foot tall.
He wasn't the only one. Javi had a long list of fools that just wanted to fight him.
Yeah. Hey, because fools were fucking. They just didn't like that I had attention. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. It was a real time. But so my brother is getting married right now. I'm the best man, and so he's now living in San Diego. He has his family out there.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, so we're gonna go down there, and he At the time, he didn't have that many guys from Santa Barbara like that wanted to go down there for whatever reason. But we're like, hey, I'm gonna take me, you, my friend Jacob, my best friend Manny,
and Molly.
Well, Molly was already there. Jacob and Molly were there. So
Jacob and Molly were in
Temecula.
Temecula.
So me and Alex and Manny were like, hey, fucking, we're going to Temecula. We're gonna throw this fucking bachelor party for Raleigh. It's on and cracking. We start out.
We're gonna give it.
Do you remember? Yeah, we're gonna give it. That was our word. We're gonna give it. We give it. You know what I mean? And so, do you remember where we started out at?
Some restaurant.
Red Robin, motherfucker.
Red Robin, yeah.
So
some restaurant. I was all brewed.
So we go to Red Robin, right? To meet him and Manny, and it's like seriously like 11 o'clock in the morning, and we're like, hey, we gotta find our way down to Temecula this weekend because we were gonna go to Temecula to pick up my friend Jacob, my best friend and his girl, and then go down to San Diego to my brother's house and throw a bachelor party. So we go to Red Robin. We're pounding freaking
big ass drinks.
No. They were Long Island iced teas.
Yeah, but they're huge.
Yeah, they were huge.
They were like in like those beer things, but they were Long Islands that big.
We're just dropping Long Islands, right? And it's midday, right? And we're like, me and Manny is gonna get started. We're like, damn, bro, we haven't even left Ventura County. You know, like this is some crazy shit, right? It's midday. I'm like, yeah, you know what? We should go. So we leave, right? This is like probably like honestly like each of us had like 3 or 4 Long Islands. We're deep. We're in. It's not a good situation, right? I'm driving. I had a Chevy. What am I looking for? Chevy fucking truck back then, and so we're driving down, and we get to Temecula, and we meet Jacob and his girlfriend right at the time, and we're like, hey, let's go have dinner. We're hungry. We just ate and drank for like 3 hours, right? Like, we got to eat though. Like, all right, let's go. So we go to BJ's. Back then, BJ's was a new restaurant. It was like the brew house of now or the yard house of now, right? It was like a new restaurant. I don't know, yard house is kind of old, but whatever. It was a newer thing, right? It was like the cheesecake for Mexicans back then in that area. I don't know, cheesecake factory. I don't know, whatever. It was a new restaurant back then. So we go to the BJ's restaurant and we're having dinner or whatever. There's a picture of me and Manny. My head's on the table. I'm asleep. Him and Jacob are like this. I'm in the middle, laying down, asleep. And we both look back at the camera, and you're actually in the picture too. You're in the background, and we're all just tired. And I'm like, telling people like, man, let's get out of here. Let's go home. Because our point was we're going to go back to Jacob's house and Wayne's house that night, stay the night there, and then go to the bachelor party to throw it the next day. So we're like, oh, you know what? Fuck it. Let's get out of here. I drove there for whatever reason. I don't know why. I'm stupid. Right? I'm dumb. I was a dumb kid. I was, I don't know, 27 years old. Maybe 26. Can you stop over there with your fucking snacks? Jesus Christ, Robert.
I gotta eat.
Where's the bathroom?
There's one outside too over there too. Where you can choose whichever one you want. That one's gonna be on mic though, so you should go outside. Yeah. So we drive down to Temecula. We get there. We pick up Jacob and Moni, and then we go to BJ's, right? We're having drinks, whatever. We're all fucking blasted. And then we're like, hey, let's go home. You know what? I'm tired. Alex is like, yeah, I'm tired too. Man's like, yeah, I'm tired too. Jacob's like, okay, cool. So then Jacob jumps in the front of my truck with his girlfriend in the middle. So there's me driving. She's in the middle of the passenger seat. He's in the passenger. Alex and Manny are in the back of the truck.
I'm sitting behind Javi.
He's sitting behind me. So we drive on the freeway, right? This is like I think it was a 210. What's that freeway? I don't know. Fucking whatever. Desert freeway. So we're driving, right? And all of a sudden, I look in my rearview mirror. I'm like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I'm looking in my rearview mirror, and I see a light coming closer and closer and closer, but fast, though. Like it's going to hit me. I'm like, oh, shit, oh, shit, oh, shit, oh, shit, oh, shit. So I brake check it, like, hard. I hit the brakes hard just to fucking let him know. Get out of the way, because he's not paying attention. Yeah. And I'm in the slow lane.
He was coming in fast.
And he comes in. He pulls out. You can hear it from the truck. And then he comes around us and he starts barking orders at us. And I look at him. I'm like, you fucking piece of shit. You almost killed me on this fucking freeway.
Not only that, he pulled up alongside of us right after that. revved his engine. Like he wanted a race.
He also wanted to race and fight. Like he was angry. He thought he was mad at us.
Yeah, but he wanted to race. And then Javi's all, I don't want to race this fool.
I'm giving a fucking Chevy truck. Like, what do you want to race? And he's in a Camaro, by the way, like a new Camaro, right? And so then he pulls up and he starts to so he's in the fast lane now. We're in the slow lane, right? Now he starts to veer into my vehicle. Like
he ran us off the road
over and over again, veer into my vehicle where I started to feel threatened. And at that point, I looked at Jacob, I looked at Manny, I looked at Alex, and I was like, it's on. Fuck this guy. You know what I mean? I'm going to pull over. I'm going to fucking get this guy off the freeway and I'm going to fuck him up. And so the third time he pulled into my vehicle, I happened, because when we left my house that day,
mug.
I happened to pull, it wasn't a mug. It was a typical glass cup that you would drink water out of in your household. But I took that with me because I was like, I'm going to need water. These motherfuckers, like, I need water. We're going to have a long day, right? So I grabbed that cup because he got so close that when I put my hand out, I can grab his car. He was that close veering into me. So I grabbed that cup and I fucking threw it and boom. And it went in his car and it bounced out the other window, his window. And at that point, he pulled behind us. And then he started to track us like he was a cop. I was like, all right, cool. So I looked at Jacob, I looked at Manny, I looked at you, I said, hey guys. I said, I don't know what's up with this fool, but it's not normal.
Yeah.
This is not a normal thing.
Manny said he either has a gun, or he's crazy. Right. Because he wouldn't go up to a truck full of, dudes.
He could see us when we were driving.
And that's why I was, he was like, just keep going.
Right.
But it was Jay who said, fuck that, pull over, I'm going to fuck this fool
up. And and I said, you know what, I'm going to fuck him up too. So then we pull over, right? We get off the freeway right away.
We pull into a McDonald's
and we pull into like a Vaughn's McDonald's parking lot. And I pull into the parking lot. And me and Jacob both jump out of the truck. Jacob jumps out of the passenger seat. I jump out of the driver's seat. And Jacob goes, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And he immediately comes out of his car and draws a gun on us. Get down, get down, get down. And Jacob was like, fuck you.
I'm not getting down. Towards him
he's like, I'm not getting down. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Who are you?
He's like, what are you going to do? Pull that trigger.
I jump behind the truck, right?
Jacob was still walking towards
him. I jump behind the door. I'm like, Jacob. This is, by the way, the second time Jacob did that shit.
Yeah. Remember in LA?
The East LA. We'll talk about that next.
Yeah, with the shotgun?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that was an AK.
No, it was a shotty.
No, it was an AK.
It was a shotgun.
At QC's 2020, that was an AK.
Not at QC's. At King Taco.
Okay, so at QC's 2020, that was an AK. So anyways, we should have died 3 times. so we have a lot of stories. So this guy pulls a gun, right? Fucking Jacob finally goes, oh shit, for something clicks, and then he runs back, he jumps into the bed of my truck. Next thing I know, within seconds, there's a fucking ghetto bird above us.
Yeah.
A ghetto bird. Within minutes. Within minutes. I don't even know how it happened.
I can tell you, across the street, I look over and there's a cop pumping gas
Is that what it
at
was?
A gas station. He's pumping gas and his jaw just drops. Because all of a sudden, across the street at a McDonald's, there's a guy in a black Camaro pulling out a gun on a truck.
Yeah.
So that's all he knows.
So by the way, before all this happened, I tried to take off, by the way. So before even the ghetto bird gets there, I tried to take off, but I couldn't get out of the drive-through parking lot. My 4x4 was not going over that hill. I tried. And then I parked it. So I was trying to get out of there. Like I was trying to evade, like as much as I could.
Yeah, get out of the situation.
But here's the crazy part. So now you have Jacob in the bed of my truck, Manny and Alex in the back, Jacob's girlfriend in the front of my truck crying, screaming. I'm like, Moni, stop, Moni, stop, calm down. Next thing I know,
I was the one who told you. I was like, because I looked over to the right and I saw Manny had like 5 red dots on the back of his head.
Yes.
And then I said, don't move. I said, Javi, turn off the truck. I said, don't move, turn off the truck. Like, nobody move.
That's how long ago it was.
I said, we all have red dots on the back of our heads.
That's how long ago it was, because red dots were like lasers were a thing. You know what I mean? It wasn't like holographic sights, right? So
we all had little.
I turn off the truck and they start to walk us backwards, right? So they walk me up first, right? And they walk me back like some shit out of a movie. You walk back, put your hands behind your head. Actually, before, put your hands outside of the door, put your right hand outside of the door, drop the keys, all that shit. Like movie, right?
Typical felony
stop. Yeah. And so I walk backwards. They put me in cuffs. They put me in the car. And I'm thinking to myself, and the only thing I think about is like, I'm drunk. I'm fucked. That's all I'm thinking about. Because I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong, you know? But I'm drunk and I'm so fucked for this. And then I start to witness what's going on. And then they pull Manny out, and then they pull you out, and they pull out Moni, and Moni is screaming, ah! But what they don't realize is the ghetto bird's above, and Jacob's still in the back of the truck. And then Jacob goes, all right, you got me. He jumps out of the fucking bed, and he goes, all right, you got me. And then, like some shit out of a movie, right? Like, they fucking, all you hear is like people locking and loading on him. And I'm like, no. And I'm screaming in the car, like, stop. You guys are going to kill somebody for no reason. Like, I'm screaming as hard as I can scream, dude. And the cop looks at me and goes, shut the fuck up. And he's outside the car with a red dot on my friend's fucking head going, shut the fuck up. And I'm going, what is going on here? Yeah. So long story short is, this dude that was trying to race me and kind of fucking violently
run us off the road
was a Border Patrol agent.
Off duty.
I'm fucking, to be honest, super hammered. I should not have been driving.
Yeah.
First thing first, you know what I mean? Like, should not. I have been hammered since that day early in the morning drinking Long Island's. Should not have been driving. 100%.
Yeah.
And the cop looks at me. He goes, is this really what it seems to be? And I was like, yes, that asshole tried to ram us off the road. He tried to fucking kill us. And then he pulls a gun on us.
The reason why they asked you that was because they had asked me. We
forgot about that part. Yeah,
right. So they had asked me, and I said, well, excuse me, Sergeant, is it standard protocol for one of your officers to, pull out his firearm and in plain clothes and not say he's an officer? Right. And he said, no, it's not our standard procedure, but he's not an officer. Yeah. He's a Border Patrol agent.
They said he was a federal agent is what they told me.
Right. So the lieutenant was right there. The Border Patrol lieutenant was there. And I asked him, so is it your policy that he pulls out his weapon while he's off duty and in plain clothes and not explain who he is or what he's doing? And then the lieutenant whispers something to the sergeant, and he says, I think we're done here.
Yeah. So, but what happened is so I'm in the car, right?
That's when
I'm screaming because when they were pulling Moni and Jacob up, when Jacob jumped up, they were going to shoot that fool. Yeah. They were going to fucking dump on him. That was stupid of him. They were going to dump on him, but what else was he going to do though?
Yeah, well, he could have
just lay there until they opened the truck. Like fucking, Jacob was an animal, man. And so the highest level there came to the car at that moment, and I said, you know what's crazy? Here's the thing. I started to believe breathing is a real thing. Just breathing. Yeah. Because I was like, I need to compose myself right now. Because some crazy shit just popped off. There was guns at our heads. There was a ghetto bird out there. There's all kinds of crazy shit going on. I have to breathe to compose myself. And I realized that for the first time in my life how important breathing was. And I started breathing deep, man, in the back of that car. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. I'm like, hey, what's next? What's going to happen is going to happen. I didn't know what was going to happen. And the cop opens the door and he goes, who the fuck is that? And I said, that guy, I don't know who the fuck he is. That guy rammed our car, almost tried to ram us off the road. He tried to fucking kill us. And he pulls a gun on us. And now you guys are all here. And you almost killed my fucking friends.
He said, where's the gun?
Yes. Because he told people that I had a gun. We had a gun. That's right. So I forgot about that part. So I'm fucking up the story royally for the podcast. It would have been better. But
that's what happened.
The guy who was a Border Patrol agent told the cops that I had a gun, that I pointed a gun at him on the freeway.
They were searching the car.
And that's why they came, because they thought I had a gun on me. So that's why they did the whole felony stop, or it wouldn't have been a felony stop. And I was like, you're right. And that's why I was screaming at the top of my lungs. I was like, stop, stop, stop. You're going to kill somebody. I remember telling the cops, stop, 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 stop. I was screaming at him when they were putting you out. Yeah. They're putting Manny out, Jacob out. And all that cop did was tell me to shut the fuck up. Yeah. And that's standard procedure. Yeah. I mean, if you're in that position, you do the same thing, right? Yeah. But because you don't know, right? Yeah. You don't know.
You're trying to get to the
trying to figure it out.
You're trying to figure it out, right? Yeah. So I understand that. But I was like, stop, stop, stop. And I'm screaming top of my lungs. I'm like, no, we don't have a gun. And here's the thing. I fucking completely forgot this part of the story. While I was in that car, I can hear the radio in the car. And the radio says, suspect, driver, Mexican, brandished weapon towards somebody. That's what I heard in the car. And that's why I'm screaming at the cop. I'm screaming.
It's like, no.
I was like, no. And I'm screaming, we don't have a fucking gun. I'm in the back handcuff. We don't have a fucking gun. We have no fucking gun. I'm screaming. The cop's like, shut the fuck up. I'm like, we have no fucking gun. I'm like screaming like I'm a fucking bitch, man. I swear to God. And I realized that when shit was said and done, when the cop came back to me, he's like, yeah, that guy shouldn't have done that. That's all he told me. And I looked at him and I said, you almost killed my fucking friend, man. And he goes, yeah, he shouldn't have done that. And you know what? He goes, here's what I'm going to tell you. You shouldn't be driving either. But I'm going to tell you this. We're going to give you a ticket and you'll walk it off. It won't be a big deal. Basically, that's what he told me.
Basically, sweep it under the rug.
Swear to God, that's what he told me. And I said, all right, cool. He goes, you go to court. You'll pay a fine for $100. No big deal. We'll deal with it later. I ended up on fucking house arrest because of that. For like 2 months. Because of that. When I went to court, me and Jacob went to court.
That's Javi's hard time.
I was in the pinta.
No, but here's the thing. Here's the crazy thing. I went to court, right? And it was the Inland Empire, which is Riverside County. So when I went to court, I was like, oh, it's not a big deal, whatever. Like, fucking, just no big deal. Like, I just go pay a fine. When I went to go talk to the judge, they're like, hey, the judge is like, Javier Hernandez, Jacob Covarrubias, blah, blah, blah. He goes, Jacob, you got disturbing the peace because you're trying to fight an official. And so Jacob goes, all right, cool. He goes, what is that? He goes, it's a $100 fine, whatever. You did your time. You went, because we had to go to jail that night, by the way. You go fucking, here's your jail time. You did your jail time. Time served, money. He goes, Javier Hernandez. I go, what's up? He goes, you, sir, we're recommending that you find an attorney. And I was like, find an attorney? The cop told me this is not a big deal. He goes, and the judge goes, sir, I'm telling you to find an attorney. And I was like, I don't understand why I got to find an attorney. This is not a big deal.
He's on, my friend just got away.
The judge again goes, Sir Hernandez, I'm telling you right now to seek counsel. I'm not going to tell you again. I'm like, what the fuck? Why? So then I get a lawyer. The lawyer goes, oh, yeah, well, this is kind of fucked because it's not just a ticket. Like there's a violation if you throw something in somebody's car if it's parked. But if it's in his car when it's moving, that's a whole other thing. Yeah. So that cop lied to you. And I was like, fuck! And that's why I ended up getting like fucking a month or 2 months of house arrest for some. It was a month house arrest for dumb shit.
Over the cup.
Over the cup.
That
But here's the thing: the only reason why I threw the cup at that vehicle is because he kept coming up to us closer and closer and closer to where it was dangerous.
We were off of the freeway. We were on the dirt in the middle of the freeway.
Shoulder.
Yeah.
In the shoulder.
And so I did it to protect us. It wasn't like I was trying to be a knucklehead or whatever. I did not provoke that situation at all.
Yeah, it was completely 100% that Border Patrol agent. 100% his fault.
And I got fucked.
Out of it.
Dude, it honestly, it was crazy to have a ghetto bird have laser dots on my best friend's heads. You know what I mean? Like,
not just
and
that.
I'm in the back of the car screaming, "Stop! Stop! Stop!" Like it wasn't not that bad, you know. Like
you had all of Temecula PD, you had San Diego PD, you had sheriff's departments,
Riverside sheriffs.
You had, agencies from all over the place, including Border Patrol. Like. It was nuts.
It was nuts, man. And it was fucked up, man. And I got really fucked over that. You know what I mean? I was like, dude, come on, man. This is insane. Like I literally watched. I remember, man, screaming, almost passed out. I was screaming so loud to the cop next to me Dude, there's no guns in there. There's no guns in there. He was not listening to shit though.
No, they heard
because the border patrol agent is what said we had a gun.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that.
Think about it like this: imagine if you had a cell phone with a camera back then.
Oh,
we could make those cops feel stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's a difference now. You know what I mean? You know, people like that can get away with that shit.
True.
Which is
good.
It's good. And you know, working in law enforcement, the scrutiny is welcome.
Yeah.
You know, and because if you're doing the right thing, you're doing the right thing.
If you're doing the wrong
what
thing.
I hate is when people are being when law enforcement officers are being chastised for doing the right thing.
I agree with that, man.
Because there's plenty that do the right thing. I think more so than
I agree with that.
I would say like 99% of the cops are
100%,
good
100%.
and do good things. And you know, are there those that come in that are shitbags? Yeah, and they get treated like that way within the agency. They, you know, and should they be there? No, but unfortunately, you can't tell people no. You can't tell people no, you can't be a cop, or no, you can't.
You're
do
right.
this.
You're right, because
So-
that cop that did that to me. That he wasn't a cop. He's an FBI guy. He was not FBI. He was border patrol agent.
Yeah.
The cops, I remember, they were telling me like, "Hey, this piece of shit shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
You didn't deserve this."
Yeah,
So-
and they were telling me, "We're gonna let you off easy. We're gonna give you a ticket. You shouldn't be driving." They took me and Jacob back. They arrested us basically,
Yeah.
and said, "We're gonna give you a slap on the wrist. No big deal." It wasn't a slap on the wrist because I don't think they knew the laws when they gave it to us. I think they were trying to give us the least thing they could find.
Yeah.
But
shout out to Molly. She jumped back in your truck and we drove off.
yes, and she took so Molly, my friend Jacob's girlfriend at the time, Monica, drove Alex and her home, and me and Jacob went to jail.
And Manny.
Yeah, and we went to jail.
Me, Manny, and Molly drove off.
Hey, you know what's fucked up is when I walked into jail, I'm handcuffed. I look at Jacob. Jacob looks at me. He's like, not because me and Jacob have been arrested a couple times in life. He looks at me. He goes, mad, right? And I go, fuck, fool, I'm gonna see you. He's like, stupid asshole. It's the way he looked at me. And I'm like, fuck, bro. I don't know where I'm at. I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, at least I see a friend. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck you. So we're like literally like a movie. We're like the jail cell next to each other. I'm like, Jacob, are you okay? He's like, shut up, fucker. And I'm like, fuck. You know, like that was an insane situation, man.
Yeah.
It really was. And I didn't do it any justice in this podcast, to be honest, about how I described it. But
That was pretty good.
You get the point.
Yeah.
You get the point.
That was
And
pretty good.
it sucks that you have that story.
Yeah.
But the thing, also another thing to take into account is,
Well, the good officer that spoke to me, that told me, no, that's not our policy.
Right.
But he's not one of us.
Right.
Meaning, ask the other guy.
Right. But I
If that's
also
their
believe that they meant to help me out. They just didn't know how to.
Yeah.
So what they gave me was like, oh, it's a slap on the wrist. But what they didn't realize is when they looked at like the A and B points, if you get like a law, right, I'm going to charge them with a law AB 125. But there's A, B, C, D. There's all these things in those laws
Yeah.
where like
What they do is they charge you with the maximum, and then
the maximum
so you
of
can
what it
plead
was.
down to whatever they want.
What I got charged with, there was like 3 other versions of it, which is like for non-intent or for intent and all this shit. And I got like the worst one on that charge, and it could have honestly been a felony, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because it could have been like if someone got hurt.
Assault.
Yeah. If someone got hurt on the road for me doing that, it could have been a felony, and that's really what they initially charged me with. And they dropped it down to that, and that. And I was like, I remember telling the judge I remember sitting in front of the judge going, Your Honor, but the highway patrolman told me that this is not a big deal. It's a fine. He goes, no, I'm going to tell you again. You need to get a lawyer. And I'm not going to tell you again. I asked like 3 times. I need to tell you, because I was shocked. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was blown away.
Jacob had just walked away with a $100 fine.
Yeah, he walked away with a fine.
Well, all this shit would have been prevented. You know, if that guy
Cell
would
phone.
have been a dick, you know?
Yeah, if that guy, but that guy was a dick. He was an absolute dick, man. I look back to that saying, man, what a piece of shit. So when it comes to people who are in military, law enforcement, that kind of stuff, that kind of guy should have been weeded out a long time ago.
Yeah, but unfortunately, you can't.
They're
They're there.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, I remember like the first time I saw the Derek Chauvin on George Floyd's neck.
God, when we go
Without
there,
knowing anything, I just
Yeah.
saw it when it got put on Instagram right away, And then the first thought in my mind was, that's a bitch ass cop because look
Yeah.
at the size of his arms, you know?
Oh, he was a bitch ass cop, right?
Because the size of his arms were like fucking small toothpicks. So I said, this motherfucker has to be heavy handed. He's a fucking asshole to make up for his lack of size. You know, that's just what that was my first impression from just seeing it. You know, aside from the fact that he was kneeling on, you know, the obvious fact that he was kneeling on George Floyd's neck for a very long time, which I don't know a single cop that says that was okay.
Right.
I don't know a single one. Like not a single one said that was, I would do that.
More people need to hear what you're saying.
Yeah. Have I ended up on people's necks? Yeah, I have. But right away, as soon as I gain control, I shift to a better position. Right. It's not like intentional. It happens through the course of the fight or whatever, the struggle. But the thing is that I don't know a single cop that says that
would want to do that.
That would want to do that, or that would think that was okay. And I don't know a single cop
that would maintain that once they find themselves.
Yeah. Right.
Or allow your partner to.
He wasn't struggling anymore.
Yeah. Or most cops that I know, I would say about 90% of the cops that I know would have had George Floyd in the car.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Well, no, they had. So that's part of the problem.
So they had him in the car.
They brought him out because he was complaining about being claustrophobic and he couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
Now, but here's the thing too. Like, it's something I want to touch on because people, and I'm going to take the heat for this.
Yeah.
People, if you want to fucking crucify me, it's okay. But let's be real here. The original toxicology report that came out from the original coroner report, with the coroner is not tied to the cost by any means. They do autopsy reports for everybody in that county. And the original coroner report came out and said, hey, he has enough fentanyl and meth and weed and other drugs in the system to kill him. That was the original report. We're not talking about that now. Now, I'm not saying that's what killed him. What I'm saying is that that's what the original report came out and said. The original autopsy had to do with his organs, his blood, and to determine how he died. And they said he didn't die from asphyxiation. He wasn't strangled. We think he overdosed. Now the family, hold on, I'm gonna because I've been studying this case to the upteenth, and this is not to support cops or whatever else, but I've been studying this case to the upteenth. I've been watching every fucking day, and it's insane. Okay, now the family paid to have a secondary autopsy done on his body, which didn't include blood and didn't include his organs. And they did include the fact that his heart was really, he had extreme heart disease, right? He was an ill man pretty much. And they didn't include that. But in that autopsy that the family paid for, so it's like me getting in a car wreck and saying, I'm going to go to the insurance adjuster that I know and pay them to tell me about what happened in the car wreck. That's what they did. And the family paid, and then that came back and said he was strangled to death. And this is the thing that this is in, by the way, this is in the court case, right? This is what's came out publicly. Now, with that said, I don't care if he died. Let me rephrase that. I do care how he died, obviously, right? Yeah. I do care. But I want to know what caused his death. I want to know what it was. And I think, and all the above. So that piece of shit putting his fucking knee on his neck was not necessary or needed. That's a fucking dumb move. Yeah. He did it. He's to be honest, what I've been watching lately, he's gonna go to jail, man.
Yeah,
he's gonna go to jail.
He should.
He should go to jail. Yeah. And I have not met a single cop in my life who has said that he shouldn't. He should go to jail. He fucked up. He broke protocol. He did a lot of things that were horrible, whatever else.
And at the level he was, he should have known better.
100%. Yeah. He's gonna go to jail for sure. I'm looking at now. When I first started watching this and they were going over the autopsy reports, I was like, "Oh, he might walk. He might walk." But then I started to watch the more professional people they brought in that were like doctors and scientists and how they did this thing. And they brought a scientist in today who was like, I don't know how much. See, that's the thing too, man. Is like, did he? So here's what they have to prove, right? So they have 3 versions of murder. They have like murder 3, murder 2, and manslaughter, pretty much. they have to prove that he woke up that day and wanted to kill him, or when he was there he wanted to kill him, or that he accidentally killed him. Not accidentally, but he didn't mean to kill him, but he did. And I think what he's going to get is that. Because I don't think you can prove that he woke up someday and said, I want to go out there and kill George Floyd.
Well, that's what I was going to go to before. I said, because nobody that I know says I'm going into law enforcement to fuck people up. I'm going into law enforcement to hurt people. No, it's the opposite, actually. I'm going into law enforcement because I want to help people. I want to protect people. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, there's times where you have to be heavy-handed. That's just the nature of the job, right? But at the same time, you're like a cop is a guardian, not a warrior. A warrior is a soldier, infantryman.
He's a wolf, not a sheep.
He's a warrior. Okay. Do you need warrior skills to be a guardian? Absolutely.
It's like a sheepdog.
Yeah.
It's a sheepdog. Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. Yeah.
So do you need warrior skills to successfully be a guardian? Yes, you do. But you're not a warrior. They're two different hats.
So
right?
So if you look at that video, it's like he thinks he's a warrior.
Yeah, he thinks he's
not a warrior.
No,
you know what I mean. Yeah. So I think the overall consensus, if you look at it, that guy fucked up. Yeah. He killed somebody.
Yeah.
He absolutely killed somebody. I don't think I have not met a single person today that tells me, no matter if they're law enforcement or not, who says, he didn't kill him. No, he killed him.
Yeah.
But I also think that we need to really start to consider the other things that were part of this story, which is, sure, he had enough fentanyl in him to kill a fucking horse.
Well, also too with that, people that use drugs are a lot more tolerant to drugs. So what would kill you isn't going to kill them.
That's true. See, I'm glad I'm hearing this from law enforcement people.
So,
because this is why I'm asking the question.
There's a case
I'm not saying because I believe it. Sorry, I'm not saying because I believe it. I'm saying because I want to draw this out of people. And you're absolutely right. He had been on opioids for a long time. His girlfriend came on I've been watching the case every day. Yeah. And his girlfriend came on and said, yeah, we've been abusing him for a long time. I was dealing with him and all that stuff. And you're right. Absolutely right in saying that. And that's one thing that people aren't talking about.
There's a case where this officer searched a man and he had fentanyl in his pocket. So when he goes to remove it, he came in contact with his skin. The officer went home that night and went to sleep and didn't wake up.
Yeah.
Just from searching, just from coming in skin contact with fentanyl.
Well, that's just strong, bro.
And so so it's crazy stuff. And so it's a reality that people have to live with every day. And it's hard when you get chastised by everybody or everybody sees that you're what you want to do is bad, but when you're actually trying to do good and then you get, automatically chastised. It's the same thing with the soldiers, the same thing. I don't know a single soldier that goes around and says, well, maybe I know a couple, but most of them, they just want to serve their country.
Right.
They just want to make sure that the guy next to them is okay. You know what I mean? That's basically that's what it is.
I came back from on leave. I had just gone over there, and with just enough time. So I was one of the newer guys in our brigade, and in my platoon. So when you're the newer guy, you get the shit time. So when you want your break, like in the middle of your deployment. Well, I got my break about 3 weeks in from my deployment. So I got there, saw enough of what I needed to see to realize that I was in a fucked up place.
Right.
And then they send me back home.
Jesus Christ. 3 weeks into it? 3 weeks into it?
3 weeks into
it.
What
a mind fuck, bro.
Yeah. Oh, dude. And then I'm back home and I'm like thinking like, oh my God, I'm in a completely different world, right? I go to, go to talk to my recruiters because they're cool guys and
Jesus Christ,
tell them about, where I'm at and what I'm doing right now. And cool guys, they took me out to lunch. We ended up going
Shout out to Sergeant Serrano and Sergeant Negron.
Sergeant Serrano and Sergeant Negron. Yeah, they took me over to Costco. We got Costco pizza. And I had just gotten there, so I was still in my uniform. And some lady walked up and she got her drink and she threw it on me.
Oh, because
she called
you're
me,
in the military.
Yeah, she called me a baby killer and
Jesus
she threw her
Christ.
drink on me.
What a fucking dummy, right?
And I was like, all right, whatever, like no big deal. Like she didn't shoot me.
Right.
You know,
I'm not dead,
I'm not getting
bitch.
shot at, but it enraged Sergeant Serrano. He was like pissed off, and I had to tell him, hey, relax. Like, you know, we fight so that they can do shit like this, you know?
That's that, and I'm glad you said that. That's why you guys fight, right? So that people can have a voice.
Yeah, it's just like when we were in when we were in LA during the uprising or whatever it was. People were like, "Oh, what are you here for?" I'm just making sure that you guys are here to safely protest.
Yeah.
That's something so you guys can protest. So you can do the most American thing and protest safely. I'll make sure that everybody here is safe. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so and it's not and it's like, so, you know, I listen to Rage Against the Machine.
We grew up to that. That was our shit.
Yeah,
when we were
exactly.
Growing up,
So
man.
so you know, and I'm all for, you know, the conspiracy theories about the CIA killing JFK and shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? I'm all about that. But at the same time,
Damn QAnon guy.
Yeah. yeah,
Don't
whatever.
be a QAnon fool.
come on,
If you're a QAnon fool, I'll stab you myself.
So
Swear to God, I'll stab you myself.
But know what I'm saying? Like, you know, obviously, like, you know, I think Chris Rock said it best. Is like America's like that uncle that molested you, but paid your way through college. You know what I mean? So
Hey, let's end it on that, man. Let's end on that.
So-
America's like the uncle that molested you, but paid your way through college.
So yeah, so in you know, like I said in the last one, like, you know, I fucking love being an American. I love the opportunities I've had to be in this country. I've been a lot of other fucked up places that you're like, you come back here and you're just like appreciate it even more because they don't have that stuff,
Right.
You know, and then on top of that, I get to have experiences with you guys, you know, like this or the bouncing or the lifting weights and all
what
that
a
stuff
great
like that.
country.
Yeah, exactly. What would be able
What
to
a
do
great
somewhere
country.
else?
Remember this one? I love America.
I love America.
And America loves...
And America loves me. See, people, hey, Alex, I fucking love you, brother. People, hey, when I was young, I used to say that all hammered when I was like in my early 20s. Like, we go out, we party in the club, in the club, everybody quiet, like, I love America, and America loves me. That was my thing, man. Remember that shit? Yeah. I appreciate you, brother. Hey, guys, man, honestly, I appreciate you guys all coming here and spending your time to come on the fucking podcast. Swear to God, it's awesome.
We could have done this for hours.
Oh well, this is version 1. We're gonna continue to go. They only heard one fucking Ghetto Bird podcast. They have no idea.
That's what you should call it.
Yeah, they have no idea the amount of stories that fucking we have. You know what I mean? So, I appreciate you guys, man.
At 7:00.
Yeah, and it's now 11. It's 11:34.
Yeah.
So, hey guys, appreciate you, man. We're gonna end it here. Fucking, we'll release this on I don't know, next Monday. Monday. It'll be released on Monday.
Make sure you edit it.
Bleep the names out.
Honestly, the only edit shit we have to do is the very beginning, to be quite frank. So, other than that, love you guys, man. Thank you. Appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate you, Alex. I love the fuck out of you. You're my homie for many years. Like, you're a brother to me. I appreciate all you've done for this country. I appreciate the fact that you keep me in line.
I want to throw a shout out to Sal Huerta.
Oh, hey, he's coming on the podcast next.
Oh.
Well, dude.
Why don't you come?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I'll jump in on that one.
If you can get free again, we'll talk about it.
He was about to deploy.
Yes.
He was about to deploy before. I think it was before Manny had passed away.
That's right. No, he deployed before Manny passed away.
Yeah. So it was when he just found out that he was going to deploy.
Yeah.
We all went out to Madison's.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, man, if I could go with you, I would go with you. And he goes, nah, man, you don't want to go where I'm going. I said, dude.
He went to Iraq. He was in Iraq.
I said, I shit you not. If I could go, I would go. And I was serious. I wasn't kidding. But that was part of like what got me into going back.
So I out of all the homies I grew up with, man, to be honest, back then the people that I was dealing with, I have 2 left. It's you and him.
Yeah.
That's it. because everyone else is you've seen how things have gone with other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
So to me, I have you two, and he's gonna be on the podcast.
Yeah,
And
call me up for that one.
Okay, well, you should come up. Well, he's gonna come up. So he was a Marine, staff sergeant, or actually, is it staff sergeant? No,
He was a gunny.
he was a gunny sergeant.
Gunnery sergeant.
Gunny sergeant, and he's been on the podcast with us too. And
Shout out to him because he was a drill instructor.
yes,
Yeah.
Those
he's
guys-
Marines.
he's
So,
teaching Marines how to
Check
be
it out.
Marines.
No, check it out. Listen to what this means. And I mean, I get goosebumps because
He is
So-
got goosebumps, by the way.
so
He does, huh? Being shit, chicken skin.
no.
chicken skin.
Well, check it out. Listen to what this means. He creates warriors.
He creates Marines.
He breaks people down and builds them back up the way the Marine Corps wants them.
Right.
So he basically is putting the warrior that he wants next to him
Facts.
out in front of everybody else.
He's a bad motherfucker.
He
man.
basically has to put his stamp of approval saying, I don't mind this guy going to battle with me.
True.
With every person that goes
Or
through
with everyone
him.
that's going through his class.
Yeah.
Right.
This is gonna be it's gonna be your buddy next to you, and you have to want to die with each other.
And it's a pretty like that whole process is
I think we lost your mic for some reason.
low. Okay,
There you go. Yeah.
So the whole process is pretty.
Plug it. Yeah. Push that up. Put that. There you go.
The whole process is pretty like a standard in terms of what they do. Like they they have to work really hard at breaking you down. I mean they broke me down like nobody's business, and
Oh,
then
sure.
they built me back up to think that I was invincible. You know,
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad habits and strong wills
Yeah.
just to get into the military, and even more to be an infantry person. Like you're I wouldn't say you're not right, but I would say more like you are a strong-willed person.
Yeah.
Like you have to really want it to get through it.
Well, we're gonna have that podcast, so maybe we'll have you guys back on there for that one. But he's coming for sure. I think it's in 2 weeks. So if you could free it up 2 weeks from now,
Yeah.
that's when we're gonna do it. So he's gonna come out here. I love the fuck out of that man. Like I said, of all my friends, either they're dead in prison or they just don't count anymore. And you and him, because they're fucked, as I've been fucked over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you or him are two people I genuinely love, respect, and care about to this day. So I appreciate you guys. We're gonna end on this note, you guys. Man, thank you for listening. Tanke, thank you.
Well, thanks for having me, man.
Man, fucking loved hearing your voice and having you here next to me, man. with his whole
You got
sexy
chicken
voice,
skin or
right?
what?
Yeah.
Hey,
Chicken skin?
I got
Barry
chicken. I
White.
got chicken chorizo, fool. Alex, I love you, man, brother. Thank you so much. I'm blessed to be in your presence still.
No.
No, I am, man. Seriously, that's not just for this podcast bullshit. This is real walkie talkie. Robert, same thing, man. Fucking blessed to be here with you guys, man. Love you guys. We're gonna end it here.
All right, man. Thanks.